Good afternoon, morning or evening everyone, whenever it is where you are. Welcome to another Old World Community Tournament game. This is the semi-final, Aran versus Klass. Exciting times, both of these players yet to lose a game. So going to be a clash of champions. I'm Fluffybunny and today I have with me FilthyRobot. Good morning, Filthy.
Hey, Fluffy.
Alright, so this is looking like it's going to be an exciting match. We have a dual square continent, so it's very much going to be a knife fight. It's the smallest type of map we can have. It is Klass's choice. We are waiting for Aran. Aran has picked Carthage. Okay. Let's switch over to Aran and see what this looks like. So how many city sites have we got on this map? We've got 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6 on each side, plus 2 in the middle, so 14 city sites. We've got 4 vandals, just the one tribe, mega tribe.
Who chose the map? Do you know?
That's Klass. Klass chose.
Klass.
Yes.
Okay, so it's different than the last couple games we've seen him play, if he's chosen the smallest map available.
Yeah, it's definitely a change of style. I think he kept this tight-lipped from his opponent till the last moment, so possibly this is going to come as a surprise to Aran. Maybe he's got some tactics up his sleeve. We do know Aran is very good at his timing attacks. That's been one of his specialities for the tournament, getting from UU rushes, so maybe Klass is trying to prevent that, going for an early rush, but it's possibly not going to be quite so easy against Carthage. We've got a nation pick from Klass yet? Not yet. Okay. So we've got Carthage traders, we have a schemer, 18-year-old zealot educated schemer. Okie dokie.
Interesting he went with 18. He may not be believing in the... You can go for 16 in tutor with trader starts or patron starts, so it's kind of interesting he chose 18 here. Yeah,
it's definitely got pluses and minuses with the 16 strategy. It's you can definitely get some nice extra stats even without tutoring. You can often get a event at 17 that will give you a nice bonus, but the advantage of course of starting at 18, you can assign your unit straight away, your leader straight away as a general, so you can ensure that you can clear that camp. If you're picking zealot, you're definitely going to have enough strength to ensure the starting barb clear, which you may not otherwise have been able to do.
Oh, I didn't catch the zealot. Actually, I thought you had said schemer, but yes, the zealot start makes us a lot more sensible for not doing the 16 strategy.
Yeah, to be honest, I may have said schemer. People pick schemer so often, it's kind of a shock not to see it. But yeah, zealot is interesting.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Zealot is trying to leverage the extreme high amount of civics that Carthage gets from settling cities.
Yeah,
so this is going to be a very powerful timing rush when they do connect. It's going to be Carthage special units from converting the tribals plus the Zealot who can steal units. And at the very early stage of the game, that's an extremely impactful ability, right? If there's only 4 units on the board and you steal one of them, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can even get in there and steal their first unit before they could even build another one, that could potentially end the game very quickly. That could, be on a par with the tactician rush.
Yep.
So we'll see what Klass comes up with. I don't think we've... still not chosen anything just yet.
So another interesting picks here from Aran. Zealot's going to be low science, and he's gone ironworking ahead of divination or trapping. Don't see that very often. Ironworking not considered a particularly great tech, but that makes me think he's got a plan in mind if he's picking up ironworking this early.
Yeah, I mean, he has taken educated, of course, to offset the negative science from Zealot. So he's on 14 science turn, which, definitely isn't the best, but not the worst either. He made us want ironworking so he can build warriors. If he is really thinking about going in early, it'd be nice to have a spread of warriors, slingers, and tribal units. Yeah,
you're thinking conflict that early. Yeah, I wouldn't expect before 5 strength, but maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think this setup definitely has the potential to get 32 and clear.
I suppose it could be a setup for his for both moving towards navigation as well as early labor force. Early labor force tends to be very strong, one way or the other, freedom or slavery.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, what else would you pick? The choices were stone cutting or administration. If he's got a trader start with some nets, then he is going to have money. Although actually he only has one net, which is a growth net. So he's not going to be obscenely rich, and he's going to need all his money for buying. Maybe some stone would be nice.
The no stone cutting is very interesting. It does suggest that he's thinking he'll use gold to float that. I did say divination originally, but that's me misreading the texture. You're right. It is the other ones, and certainly administration, not very appealing there, which makes this less of an extreme choice in my opinion. Yeah. Still, I'm surprised not to see stone cutting.
Of course, Carthage starts with divination and aristocracy, so they can build shrines and get the first law up very quickly. They don't quite have the civics yet, but if they found one more city, they will. So, we've got a Rome pick. Okay, Carthage v Rome, classic matchup. Love to see it.
Yeah, nice to see champions on the board as a counter pick to Carthage, otherwise you just get run over by those units. Not a ton of tribes on this map. Aran doesn't know that, but we can look around and see. 3 Vandal camps, I think. 4 Vandal camps, actually.
Yeah,
no, the only tribe. Is
that right? There's a Scythian as well?
There's 2 other tribes. There's Danes and Scythians. Bottom left, bottom right. But just a single camp of each. The horse tribe being on Aran's side is a bit of a, if he has to flip a coin and have a horse tribe or a second non-horse tribe, he's pretty happy about that horse tribe, I think. So that at least is a little bit of an advantage down there for him. Whether or not he finds it, we'll see. And I do like the Rome pick. And Rome champion seat. That's interesting.
Yeah, I imagine he's seeing Carthage and thinking he absolutely needs strong units quickly.
Warlike schemer.
Warlike is something we've not seen too often. That is interesting. He is governing his capital, so he's getting some extra training out of that. Although losing a little bit from the negative courage from being a schemer.
Yeah, at the moment, Warlike is +3 for him, -1 with the Schemer, huh? So it's a little bit better than just like a straight bold, although he won't be getting the global training out of that. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I wonder how it will pay out. No culture things in the capital, right? So this is not going to be like a particularly fast like tier 2 or tier 3 for culture.
Yep, just got his box standard 2 culture a year. It doesn't look like he has
Did just harvest salt though?
Getting a lot more culture in the capital. Yeah, the harvest helps a little bit, and there's potentially some more resources around. Interesting, Klass going south. He's clearing away from his opponent, kind of trying to keep his distance from Carthage, possibly. Whereas Carthage is, very much heading straight towards his opponent.
Now, the Schemer plus champion does make some sense. You do have the orders to do all the things you want to do early when you're buying, right? So not only can he keep his worker and his warrior going, he can also get that militia out to help clear.
Yeah, although we haven't seen the militia move as yet. I wonder, he is now doing the fray with the militia. Okay, good. So I believe we've got 3 turns of simultaneous before we are going to tights. What's the plan?
I think you undersell this calling this the semis. This is the finals of the winners bracket, right?
Well, indeed, yes. So both of these players have yet to lose a match. So definitely, a good match. Hopefully,
I've been watching the setup conversation for this as they negotiate times and map settings and that kind of thing. And a couple of times in here, Klass, the Rome player, has mentioned he wanted time to review Aran's games to get a sense of what's going on. And he did hold off right until the end on giving up what he wanted for both settings and map size and that kind of thing. So I wonder how much time he's found to brainstorm Rome as a counter to Carthage. Because this looks like a couple things that have been... The way he's talked in that setup suggests that he thinks deeply about these things, spends a bunch of time thinking about these. And I wonder how much he's tested or gamed out the Warlike Schemer. Because as you say, we haven't seen it before.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he hasn't been playing several practice games at this point. I think, as you say, he's been putting a lot of thought into what he's choosing here. It's a shame he couldn't quite get the militia down to clear this barbarian this turn. That would have been a nice efficiency. But he's run out.
Still, next turn's big enough, right? No extra barb spawning. As long as you get ahead of that first camp spawn, it tends to be quite a big deal. Yeah,
it's fine. It's just means you're eating an extra 3 damage on the warrior, so it's... it's not bad, but I would definitely like, if you're going to have that starting militia to and the orders from the schemer, I'd like to see that being used to clear camps as efficiently as possible.
Yep.
So, catching up with chat, Rincewind says ironworking steel elephant maybe for Carthage. Yeah, could definitely be thinking about a free elephant. That would be very pleasant. 3 units, of course, very helpful when you're rushing your opponent. So both sides have cleared their first camp without a problem, as expected.
I'm always amused hearing them referred to as free units because it's such a trick of words, right? They're not free, they're tech units is what they are. So if you want to pay the equivalent of a tech, or roughly, I think they're slightly cheaper than the tech equivalent for a unit, there's a trade-off for that. It's a powerful boost in military in the short term, but it does cost you something that you could have had along the tech tree otherwise.
Yes, that's very true. They are not free. They are always half the science cost of the tech that unlocks them. But yeah, it's definitely a trade-off. You don't always want to grab them. Depends on your science rate and the state of the game, how badly you want that bonus. But yeah, a consideration. So Carthage has scattered out a bit. They've seen this Vandal camp over to the east. So I imagine that will be their next target. They ought to be able to clear that, I would imagine, fairly easily with that Zealot.
Although, interestingly, they've maintained truce. He may be thinking of buying as opposed to attacking that.
Ah, yes, of course, they're Carthage. They're going to be buying. That makes absolute sense. So, I guess that makes the question, what are they going to do? They need to head down south to find the barbarians if they want to clear.
Yeah, I mean, that's the trade-off, right? Like, you maintain the truce to keep them cheap, and also on a map this small, you may run the risk of killing all the tribes as Carthage if you start clearing tribes too early. But at the same time, he's got to go somewhere. He needs to keep that expansion pace up, and he's got to find another camp now. So I'll be curious what he does with it. Because he might have just taken the bonus from the truce with the intent to keep peace with Vandals, but he can war them anytime he wants. Just because you accept that initial truce offering doesn't lock you in for 5 turns like it does in other like it does with other truces.
Yeah, for sure, he can certainly declare war. Obviously, he's going to want to hire as many Vandals as he can first. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he does choose to clear the Vandals, or if he's happy just buying units and then is going to pause a little bit on his expansion. See what.
I just had a lost connection. Did you get that as well?
Not as yet. No, I'm still in the game.
Am I able to rejoin while their game is ongoing? I'm not, right?
You should be able to. There, if one of the players disconnects and reconnects, then the connection can get delisted. But as long as that hasn't happened, you should be able to reconnect. Okay.
Okay, I'll try that then.
Alright, Rome has cleared their second camp, not wasting any time, using that militia as well to good effect. I guess, did they get a crit there? They seem to have, I wouldn't pay too much attention. They may have critted with the warrior. He's got an 8% chance, that would have been quite lucky. Second city down, Rome, they're going for statesman second.
That is a very efficient settle there in the sense of it just opens that water connection up between the rest of the map for him. So whereas Aran has gone north and it's very slow terrain over lots of rivers and rough terrain tiles, it's going to be super efficient movement of settlers.
Yeah, definitely very helpful to get that going around. And yeah, if he keeps that going, and if he can link up his borders as well, then yeah, have a super movement route around there. Be nice. Alright, so we've got a statesman found for Rome. Carthage has yet to settle because, yeah, not quite as fast along the coast there. Alright, they're just going to change the turn style to tight now. Looks like that was a manual change. So, yeah, and Barino is pointing out he didn't buy the melee unit. He's just more interested in the ranged units. Makes a lot of sense. The ranged units get the special bonuses from the tribe when they get to level 5 and 6, whereas the melee units don't. I believe none of them do. Maybe some of them do, but I think it's generally reserved for the ranged units.
So 6 turns in, the schemer has bought orders 4 times. I'd like to... Nothing special that the Zealot can do for missions, right? So, nothing to track on there?
Yeah, so he can... hurry production with state religion, but of course he doesn't have one yet. And
yeah, no developing culture stuff either. So just wanted to track on some. But sometimes I see Aran play judge a lot, and I'm always curious how often he's holding court. So I was just making sure there wasn't something I was missing on the Zealot there.
Yeah, and of course he can enlist one of the tribal units, but seems he can just hire them. Seems unlikely that he would bother. So Aran's still scouting around. No war declaration on the Vandals. Still another 5 years on that top camp before he gets another Vandal unit there.
Was expecting the eloquent schemer courtier that they spawned to begin with. That has now been slotted into the capital. Makes a lot of sense. It being the merchant and with the extra stats comes in with 2 discipline as well. It's quite a nice little pickup for the capital.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. So where is the king is leading the slinger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not too much scouting from Carthage as yet. Makes sense, of course. They don't have the skiing rulers to just shoot across like the map. Although Rome, I guess, haven't got that much further than Carthage has. In fact, actually, Carthage is closer to the map. I was kind of thrown off there because this map is so small, but Carthage is actually closer to the centre of that map because they just went that way first. This is Klass.
What's a barb clear he's talking about?
Yeah, you don't get events for clearing barb camps.
He's talking. It was a white. He wiped
out
it
was the Danes. Yeah, okay. I know there is a bug at the moment with some unit kill events not occurring, so maybe it's related to that.
Yeah, I think that was actually listed in the most recent test patch notes. I might be imagining that.
I don't think so. I don't think it's got as far as test. No, you're right. You are right. Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
I get confused. So many patch notes.
Yep. Do you like seeing the gold coming up? It's not a very high priority improvement, I think, in most games, but I think with a trader capital and Carthage, putting gold online is very smart.
Question about who picked the map. Klass picked the map, and he picked it right at the last moment. This sucks, by the way, says Klass. Okay.
No, not happy about his lost event. Little does he know it could have been one of the events that kills his hero or kills his leader, and then he wouldn't be complaining at all. Right?
Some people love to complain.
For sure. So looking across the map, if this game goes a little bit longer, there are a fair number of groves. I'm counting 4, 5 groves. If you control the middle point, maybe 6 or 7.
Yes.
Rome starts really close to land consolidation. Land consolidation, a very powerful science tech.
Yeah, so you got 3 in the centre there, I guess. So yeah, definitely whoever controls that site is going to get the most benefit from land consolidation. There are, as you say, there are a few other ones on the map. Interesting to see what we go for. Have we got any techs tagged so far? Nothing tagged for Carthage. They're working on military drill now, which does look quite aggressive. Kind of bears out the suggestion that they might be going for steel and a free elephant or a bonus elephant.
Yeah, it makes the warrior pickup with the tech for that make a lot more sense too.
Right.
I've seen something a bit weird here, which is Carthage doesn't know where to go here. You can see the scout just went up northwest looking for a camp over there. They don't want to kill the Vandals, which are the source of their units, and they haven't found the southern area. Now with 2 scouts, I'm sure he'll fix that soon. But that means these middle units are just kind of waiting around at a really critical part of the game.
Yeah, not ideal to not be expanding anywhere. I imagine he may decide that he needs to go and start clearing the Vandals soon if he doesn't find anywhere else. I mean, he's going to hit that barbarian site soon, one imagines. But yeah, he might just be waiting for one more Vandal unit to hire and then decide it's time to attack.
Yeah.
We do have a settler coming out in 4 turns. Of course, he does still have his free city site to settle, so it's not like he's going to be blocked. He doesn't actually have to expand right now. It's not necessarily slowing him down.
I've missed something. Where did Rome get this big chunk of culture in their cap from? They're 84 of 100 compared to 16 of 100 for Carthage.
Must have been an event, I would imagine. Let's have a look. Burial mounds on turn 6.
Gotcha.
Sure what triggers
Quite
that.
good for a warlike leader sitting in a champion capital to pick up a culture event early.
Yeah, for sure. 8 turns to developing is not bad at all.
I'll be curious to see too how aggressive the very early developing timers can sometimes mean the rushes are worth it for things like settlers and workers too. So I haven't looked at Rome's civic situation, but I am curious if Klass will do something with that. Yes, 600 civics and probably 0 laws available right now.
Yeah,
We
so
might actually see something like a settler rush.
well, we're getting a labour force in 3 turns, so we can pick up a law soon. Yeah,
Sure.
settler rush might be interesting. Yeah, of course, he's not quite there yet with the developing culture. He's got 2 settlers coming out, so he's going to have another 2 settlers in 4 turns. And get them settled very quickly, I would imagine. So yeah, Rome's doing quite well on their clearing, certainly ahead of Carthage at the moment.
Yeah, I think I suggested this, or maybe it's a suggestion I haven't written up yet. I'd really like to see site on the free city site at the beginning of games too, as well. In part because what I'd like is players, and I always feel like it's such a coin toss what direction players go with their initial scouts. And sometimes there's some system to it, but a lot of times it's almost random. And here, like you can see the difference in timing it's going to be for city settles. Rome finding this very open ground to the south with all the dense camps near each other has meant super efficient clearing speed and 4 sites opened up right off the bat. That's really good. Look on the other side, Aran has found a bit more of a slower start and is struggling to find the settlement timings. So
yeah, I mean it's definitely a big deal which way you choose to expand. Obviously, Carthage has dived into the centre of the map, whereas Rome is taking a bit more steady, clearing out the edge. Has worked out for them.
yeah, as you say, they did make the initial decision of which direction to send the scout, but I do wonder sometimes, the terrain defines a lot of that, it feels to me. Anyway, I will be curious how it plays out here. Certainly, Aran is looking, if he's teching steel and military drill this early in Carthage, he's looking for an aggressive start, so it might be very deliberately intentional to send it east as opposed to south.
Yeah, I think if he wants to be aggressive early, then diving towards his opponent, controlling the centre of the map makes a lot of sense. Especially if you're thinking you're going to go for a super early clear and not even potentially have to worry about raids because the game's going to be over by the time they start. Then yeah, that should be fine. And with a timeline that short, perhaps he doesn't even have to worry that much about settling cities. But
fully upgraded club thrower now. That's been pretty much every turn since he's had it, that he's had the resources for it. That's a 6 strength unit on turn 10.
Yeah, with fear, so an
strong.
extra 10% against everyone on the board.
Yeah, very strong right now.
Not bad at all indeed. But yeah, the double settler from Klass and Marina pointing out Klass always goes for double settlers. I think this is a strong move to spamming out settlers, getting your cities up early, giving them most time to develop. It's going to work out well for Rome, I imagine.
Yeah, it's one of the payoffs of having a champion seat down somewhere, right? Which is you get a military unit. So it's not a very good military unit, and it's not the same as a warrior, but it does let you have some flexibility in your build order that you might not have otherwise.
Yeah, well, and especially if you found the capital as champions, it means your starting warrior gets steadfast as well as getting 3 militia immediately. So yeah, you can definitely clear very efficiently. One interesting side effect of a recent change that is on test at the moment and isn't quite in main is that the starting militia will also get steadfast now. They don't at the moment, so militia can't get any promotions, but they will be able to get effects from things like champions, and the Assyrian militia will get steadfast and focus, which is quite fun.
A boost to champions, definitely not needed. Definitely not needed.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Would you rate champions as being super strong?
Yeah,
convinced.
Yeah, I would. I think they accelerate the early game so much for the factions who can play them. Certainly right now with Carthage being as strong as it is, champions are very, very strong anyways, just because they offer that counter to the Carthage purchased units. But I think just in general, the champion starts are very efficient for clears already. So I'll be curious to see how much of an impact the militia boost has. But it's not a huge boost either way, but it's a little boost.
But I've just noticed the landmark naming. Bless, we've got a bit of a homage to old world players and casters here. We've got the Gulf of Arrow, Mount Nizar, Cargo River, Sabertooth Peaks, and Mount Fluffybunny.
These were monuments to the people he had slaughtered along the way, but not all these are his opponents.
Well, yeah, maybe he started out that way.
Yeah. He found more. Oh, I mean, give him another couple weeks, he'll have enough names to match the number of he's finding.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, what are we doing? So we have adopted slavery in Rome. Okie dokie, that makes a lot of sense with the
Does it?
city sites. Well, he's going to have 4 cities very quickly. That's going to be a decent amount more resources. He's got an okay income, but he's not exactly rich. I think it makes sense. Freedom would be good too.
Freedom is excellent early, and he has no workers out of any of these cities yet, and he's spamming settlers. So pretty much his entire build queue, with the exception probably of one military unit coming out of his capital in the near future, is going to be growth-based units. So I don't know. It depends what his goals are, what he's thinking he's going to be doing here. Is there enough time to get the value of the growth from freedom, or does he really need those military resources right now, or is he thinking about wonders? I mean, there's good wonders in this game.
Yeah, we haven't even looked at the wonder list. We should just have a quick scan of that, I suppose. So we've got pyramids, ziggurat, Jew and Yazilkaya, all pretty solid.
Also,
Acropolis,
I think
Ishtar,
Ishtar
Adana.
is very interesting right now. One of the things Rome can do is all their cities are essentially military cities with those local training boost, right? And the restriction on your unique unit is developing culture essentially and 4 laws. Sometimes just an early Ishtar on Rome means all of your cities can spam your UU, and you have a very strong kind of mid-game or early mid-game push.
That would definitely be a very solid combo. Yeah, Rome can sometimes struggle for culture, so yeah, getting Ishtar for them would absolutely be very helpful. He is picking up stone boost, so potentially thinking about a wonder off that as well. Just to finish the wonder list, we've got Acropolis and Colossus at strong. Not that I think we're probably going to get there in a tiny map like this, but then also Pantheon, Harbosphere, Heliopolis, and Colosseum. Heliopolis getting a nerf soon, but not yet, so we're still at 1 order per shrine. Heliopolis, which will be, again, it's a tiny map, not going to have so many cities to get a huge amount of orders out of that, but if the game goes that long, definitely going to be something we're going to see fought over, I would imagine. Boulder Stone Champions is the best military
but there's like 7 or 8 city sites, not counting the mid sites on either side. I mean, even in that game with 7 or 8 city sites, call it 7. That's 28 orders out of Heliopolis. That's not nothing, even on a small map.
Yep. Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah, so it is 7 on each side plus 2 in the middle. I miscounted at the start. I think I said it was 6 on each side, but there were 7. So yeah, 16 sites total.
Yeah. So I do see the next Carthage settler headed toward the free city site. He is 3 cities to 2 right now, but he does have that 6 strength unit. Not moving it yet, which is interesting. I suppose it doesn't generate experience, but he may just be order shy. He is starting Zealot as opposed to Schemer. If we check total order count, I believe it does do Schemer orders, right? What's the difference that we've seen generated?
I don't think it does, no. So
oh, you don't think it does?
No, so certainly not in the per turn income. I'm not sure about the total yields. I believe the total yields at the moment are just a sum of
right.
the per turn incomes. There is again a change coming up in the next update, so the total yield will show the stockpile, so any production. So it will include Schemer.
Well, I can do it for you. So if we're at 100 on each of them essentially generated, the Schemer has generated 80 orders at this point. It's been used 8 times. So basically doubling the order count that Rome has used this game compared to Carthage. Some of these orders are not particularly efficient. For example, I saw a scout chop wheat that was only worth 5 food in the middle, but yeah, it's a lot of early orders.
He's got 5 orders this turn that he's probably not going to be able to spend. Maybe he could put a governor in. Oh, he's done something with them. We see 2.
Probably an influence, yeah. He's influencing the oligarch.
Okay. So yeah, certainly something. But yeah, obviously making good advantage of those Schemer orders. So coming up to Barb camp now. I wonder if we'll see Carthage has got a scout over on the Roman side. So I wonder if we'll see Aran attempt to block a city site with the scout. Just for fun to be annoying.
Rome has started another settler in their cap too. So again, I really
full settler spam.
I don't know.
I think actually, I think you're right. If you're going full settler spam, then probably freedom does make more sense, especially when you can look at Carthage now. But yeah, Rome does have the civics to swap back again if they wanted to. So freedom first, followed by swap into slavery once you're done building settlers, and at least a worker probably does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really does depend. I mean, not to argue both sides too much, but if they are trying to do some sort of law timing push, they may be concerned about their total civics generation, and if they are not generating much civics in general, is the same problem, right? They may wish to adopt laws along the way and not feel like they have the ability to afford going back and forth. But I think here I would have probably picked up freedom if I was so set on building this many settlers and workers without anything else to begin with.
Yeah, they'd definitely be getting a lot of benefit from it at the moment. So Carthage has finally found a barbarian camp and is on the move. Their club thrower is heading down very slowly. Probably going to have cleared the camp by the time it gets there.
Yeah, they've done okay. They've delayed building the Rider City, having built the Warrior, and then the Cap. I don't think I saw anything else being built in the Cap. They didn't take time to get that specialist up, right? So I haven't been really tracking on what that was. Must have just been the settler, the free site settler.
No specialist as yet on either side by the look of it.
But that is going to be... I really don't like this early Warrior for Carthage. It's I get what he's doing. He's using his build queue. He's using it efficiently. It will be useful later, but it feels pretty bad right now. He doesn't need the clearing potential, and really just can't do anything with this Warrior. So
yeah, it's true.
I think nothing else to build kind of problem.
Yeah, maybe a worker might have been nice, to be honest. So we have seen another skirmisher get hired from the Vandals. So yeah, he's just focusing the ranged units. There's another skirmisher in the middle there, so I imagine we'll see that get hired soon as well. I'm still busy happily clearing more camps.
You looking forward to your match today? It's been a while since you played last.
It's been, it feels like a very long time. Yeah, no, it's exciting times. Yeah.
I'm going to be casting that one this afternoon. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good. Should be good.
You see some queues up on Aran now. Some tech queued and tagged. Labor Force, Steel, and Sovereignty. That is the military techs, right? So he's got military drill up already. Sovereignty is another training boost, local training boost. Steel is, of course, Axeman, as well as his unique unit free card. And Labor Force is essentially the resources to drive that with the stone and iron coming out of that, as well as a prerequisite for the order law.
Yeah, I mean, it does get him 4 doors. I don't know if he's thinking in that direction. It would definitely be hard to take advantage of that. There's no elephants that I'm seeing. He's got the rider's seat, but no culture coming up in that. So
I was going to say, 0 return culture, going to slow that down a bit.
Yeah, he's probably going to struggle to take advantage of unique units here. But yeah, he might just be thinking about free units. You can get a free chariot of sovereignty. I'm not sure what Labour Force gives him, really.
Well, as I said, it's a prerequisite for navigation, which is laws for fighting, and it's also just resources and roads, right? And roads are particularly important if you're trying to rush early. Now, there might be a nice, there is an east-west river in the very center, but it doesn't spread across particularly well. It does very much look like Aran has the intent to do a 5-strength push here, right? Judging from this tech path as well as the behavior.
So, what, go to still building a load of Axemen?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see, is at least an attempted push with axes. Yeah,
makes sense. I don't know, I've not really seen Aran rush too much. I'm not sure that's really his style, but it does look like he might go for it. Yeah, go on, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I'm like 0-4 versus him right now or something, and he's rushed me all 4 games.
All right, so, fair enough.
So, yeah. And actually, I was thinking about this. I was watching, actually commentating the Alcaris, ongoing Alcaris game right now. I forget his opponent at the moment. But Blage, I think, yeah. One of the things that I see Aran do in the games I've played against him as Carthage is not only does he take the free units from the tribes, the money-based purchasing units, he also follows it up with produced units of his own. Whereas Alcaris has used that primarily to build strong economies behind it, mostly focusing on workers and specialists in the background. I see Aran use it as like a military multiplier, so getting military from both sources and then pushing. So I'm expecting to actually see that in this game.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh, we've got the scientific mountains over here as well. I've seen that. Full bore. Love it. Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense. If you're going to go for a rush, then go all in. Why half-ass it?
Yeah, I think it's two different mentalities. One is I'm going to utilize Carthage for rushing, and the other is I'm going to utilize Carthage early power for building a strong economy for a better late game. It's a different mindset, but both of them, of course, leveraging Carthage's early game power.
Yeah. So Boulders in the chat. I'm surprised Aran went with a zealot. We'll have a lot of army, but we'll have the orders to use it. Would a schema have been better? What do you reckon?
Well, it's not about the amount of army he's building with that zealot. That zealot is currently on a general, so it's not actually contributing very much to the amount of army he's building. It's two different things. It's the training rate globally that he can use to upgrade the tribal units, and it's the threat and power of early game combat with that unit. He can trade Carthage's free civics from settling cities for capturing units with the enlist ability. So again, an early rush-oriented kind of strategy.
Yeah, he will need to make up the order shortfall, but I imagine we'll see navigation. It's interesting, he doesn't have navigation tagged. Yeah, the free thing he does have tagged. So I imagine we'll see that at some point. Yeah, the zealot down in the south is struggling a little bit to clear all these units. He's taking quite a lot of damage here.
Yeah, this is interesting. This map is deceptively large for a square duel. Like, it's surprisingly far apart, I think in part because of the way the camps have spawned, with the close movement and light and flat terrain to the south, but the middle being fairly, a lot of hills in between and mountains in between. It's not a very direct route. It's further away than you almost expect from a map of this size.
Yeah, it's close quarters, but yeah, it could be closer, I suppose. They've got a little bit of room. It's interesting, no one's gone for the centre. Klass is very happy to completely clear out the back line and make sure there's no surprises there, and obviously Aran is leaving the Vandals alone for hiring, though he hasn't hired the skirmisher in the centre here, which he absolutely could do. He has the money for it. I wonder if that's an order constraint, or if he's thinking about keeping the centre strong to try and deter Klass from clearing it.
May also be an upgrade thing. Yeah, so that's what's just happened, right? So if we look in, he has the unit, he's just come back to his rider's seat, and the new changes to Carthage mean that it is a gold and a training upgrade to upgrade the tribal units up from, used to just be, of course, training, right? So
yeah,
he may need that money for that now.
That is very true, of course. Yeah, he has 200 money coming in, but he's not very rich. Pretty resource poor, can't really sell anything, so he's needing all that income for the upgrade. So yeah, you're quite right. We just can't afford it. Alright, looks like the zealot he's going to be able to clear with the help of the club pro, who is eventually going to get there next turn, so that should be fine.
A little bit of leeway with the zealot not dying unless they're at 1 health too, so he can take a hit that another unit might not be able to take, but he's cutting it a bit close, I agree.
So we've got, Rome has cleared yet another site. Wow, we've got a couple of cities not building settlers, amazing. Still
everything growth based though, right?
Yeah.
Every single build queue.
You're not wrong.
But he is banking, I mean, he's up to 400 stone. So slavery ticking in the background is still accumulating resources for him, and perhaps it lets him be even greedier with the settlers in some sense, right? Since he is not investing in improvements. So
yeah, I mean, that's
slavery.
There's certainly two ways of looking at it, isn't it? Yeah, you could get faster workers, or you could just get some resources that you don't actually need workers for. So I guess faster workers would be better long term, but maybe I imagine Klass has got to be worried about a rush. Can we see what is the comparison? Yeah, Klass is much weaker than Aran at this point, so yeah, he must be worried about a rush, and just wants those resources to make sure he can build units, I would imagine. Although he is
regardless of the actual comparative.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry to make it off. Regardless of the strength showing right there, one of the things you lose when your opponent is much stronger than you, or very much stronger than you, whatever the highest tier of that is you can't tell when your opponent's built more units, because there's no further tier, right?
Yeah.
It's just, so he doesn't, by staying roughly even in power level, one of the things you get to see is the minute your opponent does a bunch of unit creation, you'll see the score change. But if you're already at that last level, you can't see the change anymore. So it might be a bit spooky from his position. He can't tell if and when Aran is getting stronger.
Oh well, I think at any point you're much weaker than your opponent. That's always going to be spooky, isn't it? But yeah, it's just one more disadvantage. But yeah, I think Klass probably just needs to finish up this last round of settlers and get a worker out, and just needs to start spamming units because yeah, he's very vulnerable at the moment. It doesn't.
In a competitive multiplayer game, you can do whatever your opponents let you get away with. And the upside of the strategy that Klass has taken, it's a very greedy, for lack of a better word, opening, right? It's a lot of early settlers followed by a round of workers. That's going to be very strong if it doesn't go punished, because it's going to be one of the faster starts you can get. You didn't invest anything in your training queue for military.
Yeah, and
Scout coming out too, don't mind that.
Second scout in the champion's capital when you still haven't built any units. I think that's wild. When you're much weaker than your opponent, I would be building warriors out of Rome at the moment if it was me.
I don't like the championcy, but I do like the second scout for some vision for him. And again, I still wish this was freedom. Every time he's going to build a growth unit, I'm going to comment on that until he finally switches off a growth unit.
Looks. Oh, I see. Klass has lost his scout by the looks of it. He does not have a scout on the map at all.
Oh, did he lose it too? I didn't notice. It was it to like a...
Klass has 3 units. He's got the units he started with. That's wild. Yeah.
He does have 5 cities and another one coming in 2 turns.
It's true.
Aran's scout in a very good spot to block. If I look at this, I guess with the Roman fatigue, that settler will be able to actually settle the same turn it comes out. So, but if it weren't a Roman settler, that scout would actually be able to both see the settler and choose to block before the settler could react without a force march.
Valiant saying GG lol. Who do you think is going to win this match?
That's a bit of an early call, my friend.
I think that's, I mean, yes, sure, Rome is about to have double the cities of Carthage, but Carthage is much stronger. They just get their arse in gear and just move over the other side of the map. There's not an awful lot Rome can do about it at the moment. Rome has switched to a warrior now. They have decided maybe a scout was a little bit too greedy.
Oh, but that hurts though. You spend a turn on that scout and then switch over to a warrior?
Yeah, I don't know if he switched before putting a turn in. The scout is not in the queue anymore.
And I suppose with the way the turns are structured right now, you can change your build queue on your opponent's turn, right?
Yes, in tights, which as you know it, yes. Yeah, so Warlock Rome can change the power score quite quickly. That's fair. We are seeing 3-turn warriors coming out of Rome with 28 training. Yeah, it's true. And there is no signs of aggression from Carthage at the moment, so Klass is taking full advantage.
I mean, this is like 6 or 7 or 8 turns of moving across this just for full movement east to west to get to him. It's not like their borders are closed yet. I think right now, Aran is going to get punished for the direction that he has chosen to settle, because what it's done is it's pulled his forces north, had them sit around for a while. Now they have to march south across these hills, and they're going to be in the south for a while as he clears out those sides, and then he's going to go middle. Right now, one of the best things he can do, I think, with this military advantage he has, is to take sites that are not symmetrical, to take those middle sites. And I don't think he's going to do that with the way his units are positioned right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a rush. Certainly, a rush for Carthage against Rome working out very well at the moment. So we've got 2 6-strength rival units. That's not going to be enough against a few champion warriors, and doesn't really have the potential to grab many more units at the moment. So yeah, it's interesting. I think Rome probably does have the upper hand at the moment. We shall see.
Yeah, it's very early to be calling that one or the other. Certainly his development is better. I will grant you that 100%, but it's tough to say if that translates into an upper hand right now for me.
Yep, so settler out for Carthage. Can come and settle the site he's just cleared. Can very easily... Doesn't look like... Hang on, let's just check the map. Yeah, so Carthage has not even seen the barbarian site on the coast or the Scythian site. So they're... Yeah, the scout is just hanging out in Roman lands. I guess they will know, because it's a mirror map, they will know where the sites are. I've seen the opposite side of the map. But yeah, this is probably all fog for Aran, so going to be slow movement getting over there.
I wonder where. So, looking at this zealot, he's now a educated swift besieger. So started educated, picked up 2 very offensive abilities.
Yeah,
one of which is
nice.
almost mandatory with tribal units, but Carthage gets pretty much every single game anyways. Now, I don't know if that is. I didn't see Aran harvesting horses. So was this swift just lucky?
Let's have a look at the event list. We have got
You
Steed of the
knowing all the events
Gods.
by name.
Yeah, Steed of the Gods, turn 8, 16. That is the Harvest Horses event.
Yeah. He's done this to me every game that he's played a bunch of Carthage games versus me. And every game that I've played against him, he's had Swift as Carthage. And every game that's from harvesting horses. I didn't see it happen this game, but it looks like he did it. Which horses did he harvest?
Good question.
And with what unit?
Not sure. I can only see.
There's 3 on his side of the map, but 2 of them are in the borders of his cities, and I didn't see a worker floating around harvesting horses.
Yeah, there are 2 more down here as well by the city site he just cleared. But maybe
Must have been these scouts out on the field somewhere.
He might have harvested the horses on the Roman side of the map. Of course, that's where his scout is.
Can you harvest horses? I mean, I suppose they are close enough. I can't see how I'm going to switch side. You cannot harvest a tile that has no yield, right?
There's a distance limit, so yeah, you can't. There is certainly a limit as to how far away from the city you can harvest. But yeah, on a map this small, I imagine while it might not give him very much money, yeah, look, so these horses next to this empty city set that Rome is about to sell, showing a harvest value of 19, so he absolutely could harvest those horses.
But from what perspective are you in? Are you right
now? I'm looking at Carthage. If you switch to Carthage's side and hover over the horses next to that city site.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. Gotcha.
Not anymore.
So it's probably the scouts harvesting on Rome's side then that's done that, because I haven't seen the workers do it. Yep. That's Is Solver in channel? Because that's the event Solver thinks doesn't exist, but absolutely does exist.
Yeah, Solver, I saw in the chat earlier. He thinks it doesn't exist?
Yeah, he thinks it was removed, the Harvest event, or made not as deterministic as it is right now, but it is still fully deterministic pretty much for Carthage. I have yet to have a game against them where they don't have this from doing this.
Yeah, I think there was a change, but yeah, I think it's a special event as far as I'm aware. It definitely happens more often than just a random chance of getting a harvest event. Something special about that harvest event, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's not that it's necessarily overpowered as a whole, but it fits the Carthage ability to buy tribals very, very well, because the tribal units are quite slow without that. But picking up Swift for the extra fatigue limit on them makes a huge difference for their ability to be utilized. Is that bad? Not necessarily, but it's certainly strong for Carthage. Should that be allowed? I don't know. But it is every game with Carthage like that.
Silver is commenting. I was saying the horse harvest event is now less likely, or maybe the less likely part is still too likely. And yes, chat is pointing out we do now have FilthyRobot River.
FilthyRobot River. Oh god, he shouldn't have put that on his side of the map. FilthyRobot has been absolutely smashed every game I played with Aran. So I don't know if he wants that there. It's probably bad juju for him. So that city's going down the first time Rome looks at it.
Well, you're in good company there. Aran is definitely well over 50% wins against when I've played against him. Played a few duels.
It is fun to do the... I mean, I'm surprised he's got the wherewithal to do it. I suppose his turns are not going by super fast and there's no combat right now, but I tend to like to think about my turns. I don't think I would have, in a timed game, the wherewithal to be also naming the landmarks like this, but it's fun. It's fun that he's doing it. It's good for the viewership. I'm enjoying that as an observer. It's fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. He has just extended his time, so he is actually using his bank time. He's got quite a lot of time available, so that's great to see. It's something that is always available when you're playing in a network game. If you end your turn early, you get extinction time. You click on the little hourglass in the top left corner and you can extend your time. And we've definitely seen people run out of time and not use that, so it's great to see Aran is taking full advantage of that. So even though he's on the timer, he's got the ticking clock, it can be a little bit intimidating. He does actually have plenty of time if he needs it.
Does that have a hotkey yet?
It does not have a hotkey, no.
Gotcha. That'd be a good one for hotkey, I think.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, certainly. You want to press in a hurry.
Yep, exactly. More names looking around. I want to have a good. I haven't had a. It's funny because you can miss so much. Some of the decisions are really tough for me too. I don't have the events names as well memorized as you do, so hearing them, I actually really like that with you as part of the commentary for that. That we get some sense of what's occurring for the player decisions here. A lot of those matter quite a bit to the game outcomes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I think my event knowledge is certainly not as encyclopedic as scientific, but fortunately he's in the chat as well, so I'm sure he'll pick up anything that I miss. Yeah, it's going to be super interesting actually. The upcoming game, I think it's Klass versus Blad, at least one of them is getting commented by Aran and Frederick, who are both super experienced, super skilled, super knowledgeable players. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that stream.
Yeah. I enjoy my games with Fred. Just had a really good one with him recently.
Yeah.
Vandal camp getting cleared. These champion units just doing incredible work, right? We still don't have. We do have the second warrior out now for Klass, but still not in combat range, right? So just a single warrior over there. It's turn 20, attacking that camp, no problem. He's standing in trees and he's a champion. He's going to be fairly invulnerable.
Yeah,
which is great.
Fighting 3 ranged units certainly helps. Possibly he's already killed a melee. I haven't been tracking that, but yeah, he's got just picked up combat promotion on his warrior, which is an interesting choice. It can certainly be quite nice if you stack them up. 5% on its own is not great for combat 1, but if you can get to combat 3 and get them to all add up, that's a strong unit.
Is it? I always feel like combat's one of my least liked promotions.
Yeah,
especially on a warrior.
It's not tempting to take, I agree. And like combat 1 is 5%, and then combat 2 you get 10%, so that's 15 total. If you get to combat 3 you've got another plus 15, so you're up to plus 30% strength from 3 promotions, which just applies all the time, and is I think it's scary, especially on a strong unit. If you get that on a a maceman or a swordsman, then that's going to be one painful unit to take down.
A couple interesting things happening. I want to go back to that conversation in a minute. We saw our first civics rush from Rome in the capital. He's rushed a farmer of all things.
What?
Yep.
That's wild.
It is wild. All sorts of interesting things about that. So it certainly screams a more sim-focused game than expected. If you're rushing farmers in your champion seat after you have pretty much built all the settlers you're going to build from that particular location, or most of them anyways, you're thinking very long term. You're thinking like specialists for barracks and ranges or something, like that's a...
now, hang on a minute. He's got a judge leader. He gold rushed that. He didn't civic rush it. He has changed archetypes.
Okay, we missed that then. But still first rush being a farmer. So why here? So his food per turn is real bad. Perhaps that is trying to adjust that?
Yeah,
or maybe fish have been better if that's the case.
Maybe get some growth.
Fish have been better anyways? No, maybe it's the border closing. So like that way he gets water movement into river movement, reinforcing that way. Perhaps he's thinking about borders.
Yeah, that's not bad. He is building another settler out of his champion's camp, which is interesting. So maybe he just wanted the rush just for the growth, which is not terrible at all. So just looking at his leader, he's got an eloquent, warlike, strict judge with the sword of the gods. That's quite a stacked leader he's got going on there. Not amazing stats.
What happened to his last schemer?
So it's the same character. But
it's swapped.
Just switched archetype, yeah.
Oh, okay, so one of the events. That's a pretty interesting swap. That's a very powerful unit with Sword of the Gods on it, by the way. Though I guess if he's governing, he's not doing anything with that.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that trait doesn't go particularly well with the governor that he's got set up. But even so, it's quite nice to have in the back pocket. So Rome has started the first wonder of the game. We've got the Ziggurat coming out.
Ziggurat, really? Over pyramids and Ishtar Gate in this position? That's another super. That is another intent of a much longer game, right? This is a wonder that gives you small amounts of resources discounted on all of your improvements for the rest of the game. So it certainly will be powerful, but its effects are not particularly. They're not like It's not on a single point that you're getting the value of this. It's over a long period of time doing lots of improvements.
Yeah, and you've got the civics income as well, of course. Don't forget that's another nice benefit. But again, that is still going to take a little while to really pay off. Yeah, interesting choice.
I am interested also. I like this pattern. It's very counterintuitive sometimes to expand like this, but I do like Klass's pattern of cities. At the moment, he's got 3 statesman cities down, each of them giving the order per turn of the value of mass statesman. Only 1 champion city and 2 landowner cities down here. So really emphasizing, really taking advantage of the orders per turn out of the statesman.
Yes, yeah, getting some good orders. Bit of a shame that the landowners not going to be super happy, although they're actually pretty good for opinion at the moment. Champions are quite annoyed. Minus 82 opinion with the champion family is not really what you want. Oligarchs disappointed, which is always a pain.
Yeah.
But it's not hurt him so far. We're just getting into the territory where rebels can start spawning, so we might see some champion rebels soon. But again, there's only 1 champion city, so there's only 1 place that can spawn rebels. So not terrible odds there.
Does Steadfast help you versus rebels?
Steadfast does not help you versus rebels. No, it's versus the tribal unit type, so it has to be like a skirmisher or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, all of his units are of that family, so all of his units are taking that 5% malice. It's not the biggest deal yet, but certainly something to keep track on. He's probably hoping that that oligarch eventually dies off or moves on or whatever else.
So Carthage is also spamming statesman's family. They've got 2 statesmen out now. They've got a settler ready to go. Just cleared a coastal site, so they can go and settle out.
Turn 22, Decree 1. Decrees scale in efficiency based on culture level. So the first tier of decree is the least efficient orders per civic. So it's very interesting to see that come out so early out of Carthage Nova. Perhaps there's nothing else to build.
Not great. I mean, yeah, you could get an 8-turn slinger or warrior, or a 9-turn worker. But yeah, there's not a lot of great options for that city.
Well, tough to imagine any of those being worse than 3 orders for 5 turns of production, or whatever it is here, 4 turns of production.
4 turns.
So I wonder what he's wanting those orders for exactly. This could be starting the long march across the map.
Carthage is on 18 orders a turn, which is certainly not terrible. It's getting 2 from his rider's seat and 2 from his 2 statesman city. It's got 91 legitimacy, which is not terrible at all. He's got quite a bit of exploration. What is Rome on? Let's have a look. Rome is the pioneer, so he's been settling lots of cities, so he's on a plus 40 column versus Carthage is plus 50.
Well, we're seeing someone who does not like pins. He has left himself a note for the ziggurat, which has happened, but he didn't do it via the actual ziggurat icon,
Yes.
which is kind of bizarre.
Yes, and there's another note down in the south. Explore here. He hasn't fully cleared the fog from the coast, so his Lugdunum city is not connected.
Yeah, and it's actually hurting him right now. He's building another growth-based unit out of that city, and that won't have the +2 for being connected, or plus, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that is, of course, the advantage. The scout will be able to pop out and immediately do that. So as soon as the scout is built, we can sort that out. But yeah, still 0 scouts on the map for Carthage versus 2 for... Sorry, 0 scouts on the map for Rome versus 2 for Carthage.
We are seeing the answer to the question of why that farmer rush. We're seeing now a shrine come out right next to that farm. Definitely looking for that border expansion then.
Yeah.
Either
nice.
all around the coast, or at very least connecting via the river to his city. Makes sense. It makes efficient movement out of a champion seat. That's an important thing to be able to get those units to the front line.
Alright, so Carthage has finished clearing their barbarian site. They are at truce with both the Vandals and the Scythians, so that, unless they are going to declare war on a tribe, that is their expansion done. Interesting to see which way they go. They could potentially keep the Scythians where they are and just keep hiring them, although it's a little bit of a pain. They're kind of out of the way. It's going to have to spend a long time moving them, whereas the Vandals are much closer to the front line where they're actually going to want those units.
Yeah, although this is Aran, his favorite law from judging by the number of times he takes his colonies. I'm kind of expecting Hippo Regis and Carthage Nova to have those tiles bought up between them. Might get some fairly reasonable expansion. And if he does manage to get those middle cities, it's not that far if you start counting in water movement. And I don't think it will be a forever thing either. I think the times of the tribes are fairly early to early mid-game before they kind of lose their efficiency. Like 6 strength units are okay, but they're not incredible, etc. Right? So I'm expecting him to kill Vandals, leave the horses around for a little bit, and then kill horses.
Yeah, so Rome has finished clearing the Vandals camp in the north, so it is only the centre city site left really for Rome to go to. So I imagine Rome's going to be charging into the middle quite quickly. Interesting to see if Aran can test that. I think Rome is probably in a better position at the moment to attack that Vandal camp, but Carthage can respond potentially quite quickly, and if they keep truce with the Vandals, then that's going to be an advantage for them. If they can position their units happily around the Vandal camp without taking attacks, while Rome has to fight into both the Vandals and Carthage. That's probably a tricky situation to be in. 3 settlers in production from Rome.
Why is that scout in the middle for Aran going to be revealed in 3 years? Like, can the Vandal units walk on the forest that it was likely in and boot it out?
Yes, yeah, the Vandals could have booted the scout for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine Aran is just keeping track there, particularly wants to be in the centre to keep track on when Rome comes into the middle.
Yep, I think that's true as well. However, another, again, champions, how strong are champions or not strong? Oh, by the way, I thought it was the second malicious, not. And do we see the judge? The judge has moved from his capital onto a unit, so now Sword of the Gods in play.
Oh, I think interesting. And we've got a spearman out in Rome as well, which is a free mercenary spearman.
I like this a lot. What I'm expecting then is, judging by the number of settlers and the way it has worked out, his clear pattern has worked out, he's now going to have all of his units, nothing in the back line to worry about, all of his units arriving at the same time to the center sites. And he's going to have a settler in 4 turns for this, so I expect to see him swoop in. If he's really paranoid about this, he may do that all in a single turn to prevent the interruption via Aran's units arriving. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's bold to point out that 3 settlers in production is bold, given that he's got 1 site cleared, so he's planning on settling both these middle sites, I would imagine. But I think, as you say, he's well positioned to do it, even though Carthage Aran is stronger than Klass still. We're not.
Yeah.
That is wild, though, isn't it? We're not seeing any more military units being built at all. So the combat force for contesting these sites is going to be 3 warriors, a militia, and a spear. Which, just to clear the camp is of course plenty. If he has to fight Carthage as well, it's a bit of a trickier proposition.
There's so many interesting things here. I haven't played a lot with Klass, so I really don't know a lot about his games outside of what I've seen in the tournament. Certainly, it suggests that he is not particularly bothered by. Please check out the bug on my unit. He doesn't seem particularly bothered by things like the ratio of strength being so favored for his opponent for so long. It has not forced him to build units, and he's not responding to that pattern, which is interesting.
No success fast, but it spawned in capital. Is that a bug? It's not a champion unit, so it wouldn't. I think that's fine. Yeah, it's not champions. He's pinged that as well. Figured out himself. Although, I guess, mercenaries don't have gunnery. That's fine. 3 units do come out of the champion and have the capital. And have the capital family.
But that's a characteristic of tech units, not all free units, right? Not like event units as general. It's just like that's because they're family units as tech units.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do sometimes read. There's one I need to find it. Problem is, every game I play it tends to be in a no undo, so I never do it. I need to bug report it. There's some one of the events spawns a unit, but the wording is such that I always think the unit is spawning in a location, and it doesn't. It spawns in a different location, and it always throws me. But so possibly that's happening for him here, but I think it's just him missing the fact a Merc unit doesn't have champion bonuses, doesn't have setback.
Yeah, so where a unit spawns when you get a free unit is entirely dependent on the event.
Exactly.
Coming out of the event, it can spawn next to the camp you've just cleared. It can spawn in your capital. Potentially, it can spawn elsewhere as well.
We look through these tech cues. So Rome now has navigation done, has queued up targeting both military drill and sovereignty as well. Doesn't look like they're very interested in axes, which makes total sense. It's Rome. You have a unique unit that does a lot of what the axe does. And Aran's still on his plan. Need to have a quick look over there. Aran has still got steel and sovereignty targeted, does not have navigation. How's the total science at this point if we look?
They're looking very, very even. Yeah, exactly the same per turn income. A little slight advantage for Rome. Not a lot in it.
Yeah, kind of surprised with Carthage starting with divination and Rome having gone out of the way to build these shrines. Kind of surprised not to have seen Zorro. I suppose they're just very focused, both of them, on other things at the moment. But that science boost from early acolytes tends to be really powerful.
Well, Rome is going in. They've cleared a Vandal and they're moving all the units. If Carthage wants to contest this site, they really need to get on that because it's not going to take Rome long to clear this Vandal camp.
Another 100 training spent by Rome to move the leader onto the most powerful unit, trying to, I suppose, stack the Sword of the Gods on the highest combat strength unit.
Sword of the Good Spearman is nasty.
Yeah, very nasty.
So quick lore check. Rome has one lore active. He's just text navigation, so he, I would imagine. I'm not quite sure why Rome hasn't enacted. Oh, he has now enacted serfdom. Right, okay, yeah. So we've got 2 laws on Rome, 2 laws on Carthage. Slavery and centralization versus slavery and serfdom.
I'd like to see some whole courts being triggered by Rome right now. That is a very powerful ability early. Civics is hard to come by, and picking that up early is really good.
Yeah, although he's certainly not hurting for civics at the moment. 563 in the bank with 116 per turn coming in. So, yeah, I mean...
No tutoring, which is interesting. He's got 215... Oh, he's doing the exploring. This is Klass, of course. If you look, 3 of his 4 children are out exploring right now. Does he has exploration, presumably? He's called this a science tech. He doesn't. So he's even willing to go exploring. I mean, that's where the Sword of the God has come from, likely. But is that... I really don't know. I keep meaning to try this strategy, and I cannot seem to engineer the situation where I have the civics to adopt enough kids to do this, right? Because that's one of the other things he likes with his schemers is adoptions. Can we tell if any of these kids were adopted? Something must have been, right? Because the Duchess has been bypassed.
Let's have a look. No. The first in line was... Right, yeah. Second was adopted. Third in line was... Yeah, bypassed, so I guess not adopted.
Where were you finding is adopted?
Just looking at the notable event. Adopted is a tag. You can see it in the trait list on the second in line. And the first, third and fourth were all born. If you look at the notable events, you can see they were born.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he has bypassed third and fourth in line.
Klass swears by exploration. He's claiming that it's an incredible science pickup. It certainly brings you a number of items that you can't seem to get in any other ways. So I'm really interested to see how powerful his secession actually ends up being with 3 of his 4 out exploring. And then weirdly not tutoring the 4th, right? So the princess has is just 3 stats right now. 3 stats presumably is a tutor here, but maybe just events.
Yeah,
but no tutors active at the moment.
It's very true. Yeah, I guess we could check what exploring events we've got. So no exploring events on the second line. Monsters of the Deep on the third in line. I forget exactly what happens with that. Is that maybe where the sword came from? It might be.
Yeah, I don't know them. I don't know the names.
And no exploring events on the fourth in line. So he's got 3 exploring children. He's had 1 exploring event. Admittedly, no, it can't be the Sword of the Gods because he had that before last turn, which is when that Monsters of the Deep event triggered.
I seem to remember Monsters of the Deep being a science event if you have... I feel like it's like you find giants or something, but maybe I'm incorrect. I guess of the deep probably implies it's not giants. I don't know. I never look at the names of these things. I gotta start doing it, I suppose.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Scientific is in the chat. Scientific, what does the Monsters of the Deep event do? Get our walking encyclopedia to help us out there.
Our lore expert, they call those people.
Sure. Alright, so we've got a quick pause for Rome is distracted, he is back. Okay.
I'm going to take this quick pause to grab my coffee, refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
Alright. Silver says sword probably popped from a ruin on the leader. Fair enough. Ruin. I don't think ruin's on. No ancient ruin, so definitely didn't come out of ruin. Alright, so we're still working on killing vandals. Imagine the spear is going to come in and finish here for the experience on the leader, who is level 2 now. Well, was level 2 already, but it's third level up. I suppose technically that's level 3, right? So 100 was his level 2, 200 was level 3. Yeah. Leveled up twice. But yeah, it does not look like Carthage is going to be able to contest. They are attacking the Vandals now, clearing this camp up here, but they're not going to get down here. So Rome is going to take this middle site, and I would highly imagine they're going to take this site as well. So Rome, this greedy rush from Rome for settlers looks like it's paying off for him. It's going to dominate the middle of the map. It's only 2 extra sites, but when you're only looking at 7 on either side, 7 versus 9, it's a nice advantage. Silver says most of the deep is selecting traits with the possibility of a tiny science boost. Okay, it's not a huge amount of science, but some small amount of science.
Back. It look like this is the slowest possible way that Rome could take this camp. He's set up outside of it, then spent a turn killing a unit, then has spent another turn killing a unit, is now going to be spending a turn attacking to that camp. So if Aran did want to respond, he's been given the most amount of time for it. But
yeah,
I don't think he's in a very good position to do so.
No, indeed, he's nowhere near. He's still busy clearing his own camp. So Aran has declared on the Vandals now, but he's cleared the north camp. And yeah, it's going to take Rome 2 turns unless he gets a crit to clear this camp. But I don't think it matters because Aran is just not in a position to contest it. So yeah, Rome is going to take both the centre sides, I think, and be up 9-7.
Now, imagine if Aran had cleared in the same path that Rome had, going south first, where all of his units then would have been not having to march north-south twice, but would have been up here finally in this position. It's just interesting. I'm always curious as to how much of the game ends up being decided by those strange decisions of, oh, which camp do I clear when I found 2 here? And did I go north or south here? Or go a little bit east and see 1 more camp over kind of stuff. So it's interesting seeing that here. I do feel like this is, by and large, at the moment, advantageous for Rome here, which is the Carthage early game is where it's strongest. If you can somehow secure 2 extra sites up on Carthage, that's a good way to set up for kind of a mid-game. Now, as I say that, I look at this kind of set of forces by the rider seat, and that's a pretty scary set of forces. We've got axes out with the tech, 1 upgraded already, that warrior. And then how many 6 strength units? 3?
Yeah, so he's got 2 elite club throwers, 1 5 strength club thrower, 4 and a 3 strength skirmisher. So still only 2 6 strengthers, but yeah, he does have the axe as well, which is obviously going to be a nice counter to that spear, and he's still going to struggle against the Sword of the Gods leader, but maybe he can clear this in 1 turn if he can. He force marches a warrior in.
Yeah, it's not particularly useful to do so anyways. I suppose it
he doesn't do so.
Saves against he doesn't have a scout, so he's doing this blind. And he probably knows the scout's there, right? Because the scout moved from well, I guess it wouldn't have changed its visibility status. Maybe it does not know the scout is there. But he can't get us out of there until next turn. So the problem with wounding a camp like this is if there's no one around, that's fine, but it does set up for a very easy, your opponent swoops in, steals the camp, and settles kind of play right here if his opponent's set up to do that. And he's given his opponent 4 turns to set up to do that, so he very well could be.
Yeah, it is a risk, I think, but I think it's going to pay off for Rome.
I think it is. I don't think it's a calculated risk, is what I'm getting at though here.
Yeah,
he doesn't have sight, and he's not doing this in a way to try to play around that. He's just kind of clearing the camp like it's any other camp. But this isn't any other camp. This is the camp closest to your opponent in the center line, surrounded with a scout nearby. So I think this is a very dangerous play on Klass's part. I don't think it's executed particularly well here in the sense of he could be doing more to play around the risks that he's not currently playing around at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be fair, that Sword of the God Spear is probably giving him a lot of confidence. I mean, even the axe is only doing 4 damage to him. And
Yeah, but it's not a tactician.
Units.
Yeah,
Oh.
look, here comes Aran. And he's going to steal the camp? Yeah. As I just said. This could have been... We'll see what the combat actually looks like here, but this could have been done better by Klass on this setup.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I don't... I think that's really bold of Aran to go in and take that camp, because can he hold this? I mean, it looks like he probably can. Yeah, I guess he can.
The club thrower just chunked the spear from across the river. That's 3 tiles away, and it did good damage.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. Yeah, fair enough. All right, maybe Aran can take that. Aran popped a free warrior from clearing the camp. I didn't even spot that. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're worried about the RNG of that, half of the army of Klass right now is free units, right? Both the spear and one of the warriors is free, right?
I hadn't twigged one of the warriors was a free warrior. That's amazing.
Yeah, it just means he's built almost no units at all. So we'll see if this pays off here. I think this is spooky. I didn't like the spear positioning frontal, because what you really want is, and this is the punish, right? The spear has been most forward, takes the least damage, true, but what you want to be doing is attacking with that unit. You want that unit to be slamming into things, and it's going to be the least number of turns that unit gets to stay on the board now, because it's taken so much damage on that first turn. Again, he's done this without sight, and he put that camp as low as possible. His opponent only had to attack it a single time to take that camp and prevent him here. If he hadn't done that, if he'd left that camp a little bit higher and his opponent came in to contest but wasn't able to clear the camp, he might be able to do something like force march the settler and get the city settled this turn. But now he has to clear the tactician unit in the middle first before he can even settle. And then, and even then, it's going to be a force march. I'm not sure he can reach it.
Yeah, no, you'd have to force march the warrior in and take 4 counter attacks, and then force march the settler as well. I don't think he has the orders for it. That's interesting. Seeing promotion on the commander warrior here. Yeah, he's got 17. He's just shy. Actually, the militia can actually clear the warrior if they all attack. If he then has the orders to settle the city there, which I think maybe he does, with maybe buying a couple from training.
Oh, it's a bit scary too.
5, 6,
again,
7, 8. Sorry, it's counting orders.
The spear positioning. Yeah.
Yeah, he can absolutely do it. He can settle the city this turn. Well,
if he chooses to do that, the way that settlement pattern needs to be is his last attack needs to be with his leader unit, so it occupies the city center site, and he needs to actually force march the settler onto that center tile, the one that actually says city site, because he needs to protect that sphere. And so he is doing that. And that is probably the safest way he can do this. He probably still loses that commander unit if Aran wants it, but I don't like this. If this is where the settlement's going to end up on that tile, yeah, I don't like that. I think that means he loses the spear.
He messed that up. He ran out of orders. He couldn't have settled on that site, but he could have just moved the militia in without spending the force march. He force marched the warrior in instead. But yeah, he could have done that much better. And yeah, I think you're right. I think that spear is dead now.
Yeah, and that's his Sword of the Gods unit off the field. He will be able to re-equip it next turn because he has such a good training rate, in large part due to Rome here, and the other part because he's not building any military units, so all of his training goes straight into the global.
But Rome does get the city, which is definitely a nice advantage.
How is the family? I haven't looked. The Roman family. Let's see.
Carthage families are reasonably happy, riders are slightly upset.
So Rome is still, the champion city's family is still minus 47.
Yeah.
So it will be champion bonuses, but it will not be happy, sadly, for Klass. And I think it's quite likely here that spear dies, and
spears.
Commander unit may be close to too.
Spear's definitely dying. One slight problem is that Aran doesn't have any training. Oh, hang on a minute. Now I'm looking at Rome. Rome doesn't have any training. Aran has training. Aran can march in. All right. Looks like he's killing 2 units. See?
Yeah.
Yes, you can absolutely kill that spear as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's a huge problem for Klass right now.
Costly, definitely, that city is going to be. So the question now is, can Rome build units quickly enough to actually defend the city? It is a champion city, so it's going to take a while to poke down. But with only melee units for Rome, and lots of ranged units for Carthage. Carthage can just quite happily stand off and keep poking the city, and there's not an awful lot Rome can do about that. Other than take it and hope they get reinforcements in time to save it from collapsing.
He's just invested quite heavily to take this city too. I mean, he could have backed up after he did the play that he did, but he didn't. He chose to fight this. So now he's got the decision. Does he double down on what was kind of, in my opinion, a bit of a a very unsafe move, a very, what happens kind of thing. So does he double down on this now, continuing to invest resources into defending this? And it's not easy to defend. That's 2 6-strength ranged units with an axe and a warrior there versus just 2 warriors of his own. Or does he give up the city he just settled? Neither is a very nice option.
Yeah, I mean, he can't fight directly. He needs to conserve his units, so he really does need to just back off his units. And yeah, if Carthage just peppers him from range, I guess he only has 2 ranged units up front. He has another elite club through, just upgraded, just got his zealot slinger as well.
I kind of dislike that. Why didn't he steal the spear? Like, why is the zealot coming in at this stage? I think that might be a small mistake here from Aran. Perhaps
no, of course he can't.
Didn't work out.
Of course he couldn't.
Oh, right, because the leader.
Yeah,
right, the leader communication. Yeah.
But so I guess with all the 3 ranged units are there, plus another one that's come out, can all do 2 damage to the city each turn. So if he gets his other elite club throw up, it's at least 8 damage a turn he's doing to that champion city. So yeah, it's not going to hold for long, even if he doesn't move his melee units in as well.
Some interesting effects here. We just saw an exploration ends for 110 science on Klass right now, which is a wild amount of a science when you're making 29 a turn. Yeah, and he just equipped a general. I think that's a mistake, that maybe he doesn't know the mechanic. Tactician generals do not counterattack out of the city center, and that's not his leader being equipped on that city center. I don't think Aran has to put units in melee range of the city if he wants to either. As you say, it's only 2 per turn, but it will chip away at it, and those things are stronger than composite bows in terms of their actual unit strength, right? At 6 here.
Yeah, I think if it was me, I'd certainly at least take a turn clearing this Vandal skirmisher with the melee units, and then just use all the ranged units to attack the city. He might even, see, like an axe can come in and do 8 damage on this warrior. So actually, even a better plan might be to clear the Vandal out of the way and then go and kill this warrior, who's not really backed away far enough. I mean, he's in the forest, I guess, so it's quite difficult to kill that, but I would imagine possible.
Yeah. And every attack into that city center, because he's put champion there with the thought that champion have better city defenses, to agree, more HP anyways. But every attack's going to further make that family annoyed, right? It's going to build up discontent. So that's an already unhappy family. Yeah, and here Klass's tech path has also screwed him a little bit here. He does not actually have access to a stronger unit, right? He doesn't have spears and he doesn't have axes yet. So all he can do to respond to this is build warriors and slingers.
Yeah, he's nowhere near axes at all. He is only 1 tech away from phalanx, and maybe he's just he's going to cycle through a cheap tech to get to phalanx, but
It's going to feel pretty bad if you build spears into axes right now too. So really his next unit is going to be, how close is he to his 4th law? He's sitting on 2, 3. So it's probably going to be, if he can do it, rhetoric, but he can't, right? Because it will be in the discard pile when he finishes administration.
Yeah, sounds about right. Let's have a look.
So probably then trapping for the redraw and the closer access to military drill, then hoping to hit rhetoric on his next one. Okay.
Yeah, there's no
quite a ways.
Yeah, there's certainly no law text on the next draw. And he doesn't have... he has just started the garrison, so presumably he is thinking about that. He's getting a 5-turn garrison on the hill there. He has the judge, so once he gets his 4th law, he can...
That city is weak.
Go straight into it.
Can't do that one.
Just had to rush a warrior with civics, which is a little bit painful in the champion seat. That's going to have produced it in 3 turns anyway.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Unfortunate.
The other
use
thing
of
about
civics.
rushing that I don't like, I was looking up into this because, this tournament has talked a lot about rushing and talked about the optimal ways to do it and the least cost of things. By the way, we're losing that warrior.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. Yeah, very good.
But the problem with rushing like that in Rome is all the overflow will get pushed into global, and it won't be there for overflow. So not only does he only save a small amount of time because he's, as a champion seat, makes a lot of production, but all the overflow to make the next warrior, which he's going to have to build right now, none of that is going to overflow into the next build. So it's going to make his next build slower. So I'm not actually sure he saved that much time rushing.
True, but on the other hand, he does get the overflow into the stockpile, which he does need. He needs to be able to rush units around and assign generals. So he's going to training is not going to be useless for him, certainly.
You say that, but he has one unit that already has a general on it, and he's got only one other unit behind it, the militia. What is he going to be rushing around? He doesn't have any units.
Yeah, well, that's why he needs to rush them out, of course. But he has been caught very much with his pants down here. He has 3 military units,
but
one of which is a militia.
Final of the winners bracket, and it's not caught with his pants down. The relative strength ratios have been flagged this entire game as Aran being much stronger. He's gone back and watched Aran's games. He's seen Carthage be played in this map. He's in this tournament. He's played it himself. It's like if this were the first round, you could be like, "Oh, this is surprising that Carthage is rushing me." But it's not the first round. This is the final match of the winners bracket. You expect the players to get a sense now of what the meta is like, to get a sense of their opponent, and to get a sense of what's possible. I just feel like this was such a poor way to clear this center camp. It was so potentially punished that if he gets away with it, sure, he's good and well. But anytime he doesn't get away with it, it's going to go disastrously wrong for him. And it's going disastrously wrong for him right now.
Yeah, no, this is definitely looking very unfortunate for Rome. I mean, the game is not over, of course. He can keep spamming out warriors. What he doesn't want to be doing at this point is just throwing away units, which Carthage is in a position to just come and swing around and start killing some other units. Be interesting to see what happens.
He chose again. He pushed his units in, left the camp super low. His opponent responded in exactly the right way, which was kill that spot, hold the center, make his opponent make Rome commit even more if he wants it. Rome chose to commit more instead of backing up, and then rush the settler in. And now I think he is investing further in there's a term for this, but I'm blanking on it right now. I think he's investing further in a bad idea, and I think he needs to stop doing that because, as you say, if he loses this city, this is the center city. You expect to lose the center city versus Carthage to begin with because their early game is very strong. You play with the intent of, okay, I'm not going to be quite as strong as them in the early game, but I will be able to compete with them in the mid game. If he throws units in one at a time piecemeal like this and gets them eaten up, literally stolen by the zealot, and otherwise trading poorly, he's not going to be able to defend his next city, and he can lose the game then if Carthage can keep going. So he needs to stop investing in the city. He should have stopped investing in the city the second Aran took the center tile from him. But if he keeps doubling down again and again with this resource investment in something that is not going to work, no matter how much he wants it to work, he's going to lose the game here.
Yeah, I think that is fair. I think it's interesting. I think it's quite interesting the fact that Klass has won every single one of his tournament games so far. So it may just be the case that, has he even been in this position before? I'm trying to remember his old games, and I can't at the moment, if he's had to come back from a losing fight. But I think it might just be that Klass is too used to winning and has got overconfident. Silver was asking why didn't Aran hire the Vandal unit by the city. I would imagine it's kind of low priority for him. Although, to be fair, he does have a lot of gold, so he could have done, certainly. It's probably judged that it's not worth investing. It would have been quite expensive given the number of units he's hired, plus the fact the Vandals actually hate him. So, that's just not worth it. And I guess
how
maybe
did he just get Rhetoric? What did I miss here? Was there? Oh, he took border boost to reset the cards instead of administration. It was faster rather than trapping rather. So he is going for his 4th law right now. That's the reason why you'd go Rhetoric here. It also unlocks sovereignty, which is going to be another local training boost. Maybe the fastest way he can get to a local training boost.
Right, and he has been holding court as well, so he just got 176 out of that. So he's actually quite flush for civics and training at the moment.
Yeah. So, and actually another nice thing about that shrine I forgot about is that the shrine is a rally point. So his units will spawn quite a bit closer. Well, I guess with water movement, it's only one portion of a move, but they do spawn closer out of Roma.
Yeah,
so
that's definitely a consideration worth thinking about.
I think he really needs to start figuring out how he's going to defend that northern city, not this one that's dying right now, the one behind it. Because I think the problem is right now, Carthage has nothing to stop these units. They're already in place. It's not going to be very expensive order-wise to move up that river and start attacking the next city after this one falls. So I'd like to see... And also, if you look, Klass right now has plenty of civics. As you said, he's got a vigilant champion judge available. He should slot that into the city just to make this even more painful to attack. And he should buy as much time as he can out of that city dying as he gets time to rally behind this. He does have a judge, so as you said, he can upgrade that garrison instantly to a stronghold when he hits his 4th law. So that probably means in 4 turns, unless one of these exploration events triggers again, in 4 turns he is going to have access to his UUs. Now, I don't think we've seen... I mean, again, that warrior is going to bite him in the ass, right? Because he rushed that stupid warrior. But he really wants that civics for UUs, and every time he rushes, it's going to make future rushes more expensive.
Oh, wow.
I really think he needs to be thinking about that.
That leader warrior's just gone in. That is dead, one must assume.
That is insane. This is more sunk cost.
Not even...
This is more units being thrown into nothing. What did he do? Half a point of damage?
Not even in the forest. I mean, he did a decent amount of damage there, but yeah, those blood throws are going to chew him up. He's quite a strong unit. It's definitely hurting... definitely hurting Carthage here, not being able to enlist these units. Because, Carthage has not enlisted any units so far, I believe. They're sitting on 1,900 civics, but the units he really wants to be enlisting are the ones with the lead one that he can't do. Although there is another tactician warrior's just popped out here, so we could very well see a warrior get enlisted next turn. That would be quite a nice pickup, I think, for Carthage at this point.
Yeah, and I would have liked to... I guess this axe is kind of zone controlled. You know, maybe I'm being too severe here. I do think investing resources in the city is a stupid idea at this point, or a losing idea maybe. Let's not attribute intelligence to it. But perhaps this axe is in a position where it can be sniped, and getting that axe would be a nice kill for him. If he can do that, maybe at the cost of a warrior. That would be great. If he loses 2 warriors and this militia, I'm not so sure. But maybe he just needs the time, and maybe this helps delay the time. Any damage spent on killing the judge leader is not spent attacking the city center, so it delays further. So maybe. Now, what's going to be scary is his UUs can get stolen. But I suppose with that sort of the god's judge and the unit that it's on dying again, it will be available for being placed on the new UU when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. A Sword of the Gods leader on a status sitting in forest is going to be, I would imagine, incredibly hard to kill. So that's definitely going to be a big power to
add one more bonus to that, which is steadfast, right? Which is going to help a lot versus these elite club throwers.
Yeah, that's going to melt the tribals indeed. So interesting to see what Carthage is going to do here. I think this is a creditable defense from Rome, to be honest. I think he's got to be giving Aran pause here.
I don't think as much as that. I think if he gets this axe, maybe this axe is slightly out of position. Maybe just buy a tile. I think that would be a good trade-off. But I don't want to see him invest all these warriors again and again into this. I guess we'll see.
Carthage is still listed as much stronger. There is... What have we got? We've got a couple of nomad skirmishes in the back line. Well, not much because they're quite weak. And we've got a warrior a little bit away. But yeah, pretty much all of the units are in the centre now.
Look at the queues, the build queues, though. Like, I feel like this is the game that Aran has been playing since the beginning. The first time we saw Ironworking get selected on this map, this was the game he wants to play, right? He's got 2 warriors in training. Steel finished in 2 turns, 2 slingers coming out of the further cities. He's recruiting more tribal units that are healing up and moving forward right now. And the only thing he's doing in all of his production queues that isn't directly military related is the Elder Shopkeeper, which is essentially military related for Carthage because it gives more upgrades with the gold income, right? Like science and upgrades over there. So he is very focused right now on, I have this power spike. I'm stronger than Rome. I've got an advantageous situation. I'm going to ram that home as deeply as I can, right? You turn that around on the other side, half of Rome is building non-military units still.
Are they? I think they're...
Oh, though they've changed too since I've looked. They've changed the southern cities for sure. This is what I want to see, though, from Rome right now. I want them thinking about, how do I defend my next city here if I give up that middle city?
Okay.
Warrior walks.
So, yeah, Axe is backing off. Aran has killed a militia, which is the lowest value target. He's taking attacks on the city.
No, it's not, though. I'll tell you why it's not, because that militia was the thing holding the axe in place. So the
Yeah, I
militia was the one
suppose.
exerting zone of control that the axe couldn't leave. So he took a cheap kill on the militia, not a very high value unit, but he gets to walk his axe out. I think that's very good. Because the only thing he doesn't want to let Klass do is get the value here. So if he just cycles wounded units out and keeps beating on this city and trading, killing a unit here and there, but not trading any of his own off, he's coming out way ahead.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't see Aran taking the city at the moment, I've got to say. I think Rome has got enough potential here. They've rushed another warrior out of Roma, which again is painful, but you know, they're making it work. I think they're going to hold the city.
I hate seeing the rush there with 4 turns away from Hystastus, personally, but
Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe he does hold it. I don't know if he'll hold this or not. What I see is this. I see warriors, and then I see Hystastus, right? Hystastus are certainly better than axes, but they're much more expensive too, and axes trade just fine with them by and large, and axes are going to just crush these warriors. So as long as Aran can pressure this city, keep these units engaged, get a couple picks as well as cycling his wounded units out and not losing anything, I think his next wave of reinforcements is large enough he gets to take this city. Because I don't think warriors will hold up against 3 axes and 2 slingers with the tribal support.
I don't know. I think he's just got another warrior. In another 3 turns, he's going to have another 3 warriors. Yeah, I think Rome can just swarm units in. Carthage can't take the city in 3 turns, I'm pretty sure. So yeah,
I don't think it's going to be
like
quick
6
take.
warriors in the area.
I think the next wave of unit makes the city vulnerable, but this will be the tension to see. We'll see if this is a clean defense or if it's just a slower loss of the city. And honestly, both benefit Rome to some degree, right? If he cleanly defends this, great, he gets the city. If he manages to stall long enough to start getting Hystastus production and going, great for him as well. Either one of those is kind of where he needs to be right now.
Sandstorm in Rome, not the worst, just taking a little bit of damage on the worker, otherwise not really affecting Rome at all. Wow, warrior rushed in, so he's going to take a club thrower kill.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The champion stuff paying off, and also I didn't see the damage. Did you notice how much damage the Sword of the Gods unit did? I did not see.
We can see on the notifications, probably I guess on Carthage's notifications. See, 8 damage.
8. That is a Sword of the Gods. That's a thing.
It's a BP hit. Yeah, it's definitely a nice bit of luck for Klass there. But yeah,
did we decide it was not from exploration? Guaranteed not from exploration. It was just a random event.
Oh, we're
I do think
pretty sure it wasn't from exploration. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, what does Aran do now? I mean, he could maybe convert a fresh warrior with no promotions, but I don't see that being super valuable.
No, I don't think that's very valuable either. I think Aran needs to trade. He needs to trade efficiently here. So
which he's very much not doing at the moment, right? He's lost.
Well, he was until he lost the club thrower. Then club thrower was forward because the militia was zone controlling his axe. So what he did is he traded a club thrower for an axe there. Was that a good trade? I doubt it here. I think his range unit is slightly more valuable, but possibly these are all champion units, so they all are steadfast. So really, that's not a 6 strength unit. It's a weaker unit comparatively. So I don't know.
We've taken a club thrower attack against this tactician warrior. I don't think he had the damage to kill it unless he's willing to commit his axe to that. I'm not sure what really that is doing.
He can kill that without the axe, right? It's at 14 and he does 5 and 7. Oh, it's 12. No, you're right. It is going to be the axe here.
Yeah,
if he wants that kill.
A little bit short. Interestingly, Carthage's scout is now exposed, of course, because it's in Roman territory, so that is getting in the way a little bit.
Yeah.
I wondered if
that was deliberate too. Yeah. It's funny. I sometimes run into that problem. It's one of my few complaints with running a schemer leader is I can never use my scouts in combat because they're never visible except for the
Yeah. Sometimes being hidden is a bad thing.
No, very rarely. But yeah.
It's that horrible time when you're trying to line units up along the coast to block someone from landing a naval invasion. You've forgotten you've got a tactician leader and your ranged units are not blocking the coast.
No.
Just get pushed out of the way.
I guess the other thing that Club Thrower does, this thinking about this discussion we had this morning, he did commit a unit. It was a forced march of the warrior.
Yeah.
So that will get the other warrior kill. So I guess I guess there's going to be an enlist coming out here. I mean, I believe if I remember correctly, he's working on a huge bank of civics, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
After the enlist.
It makes a lot of sense for Carthage to actually start spending these civics to do the enlists now. But yeah, this is some expensive trading.
Yeah, and I agree with you that he does not want to be losing his very expensive units. Oh, to finish the thought, there are zone of control benefits. This was the conversation we were having this morning about how zone of control works across rivers. But leaving that unit there was probably for setting up for the kill, but it also does make it more expensive for Rome to move units across and around that area. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit hard. It's certainly hard for Carthage to move around. There's quite a nice city spot there with one tile against the mountains there. He can't move around the north of the city, so it's quite hard for Carthage to.
Sure, it would be nice to see like a slinger or two, but Rome not having the technology for ranged units right now.
Yeah.
Not even people throwing rocks.
Yeah, you don't want to not have any ranged units, that is for sure. So that warrior is going to immediately die again by the look of it. Yeah, warrior taking the kill there. Now the question now is what this other warrior does. Is he going to leave this warrior exposed for a potential and a second convert? Which I think he probably... Actually, I'm not sure he does quite have the damage to kill that warrior.
Ranger Sword of the Gods. That's a spooky set of bonuses. We were talking about combat earlier, right? You know, combat being at the third level, it's 30%. Well, this is one level of 25%. So really, with the Steadfast, the Ranger, and the Sword of the Gods, that is 100% bonus for attacking this this elite club thrower. I guess across the river he'll lose some, but
and even if we're not talking about the tribal units, like the attacking with a warrior into that warrior is doing three damage, which is awful. Yeah. Well, tribal units are doing 1. Slinger can do 2. Yeah. Alright, so we attacked the scout with the warrior here. So
yeah, he couldn't kill anything, so I assume this is just like trying to get that tile that he can utilize.
Yeah. So if all 4 of these Carthaginian units get into a 1 tile range, he does just have enough to kill and convert this warrior. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to do that. It's a little bit risky there, I'd say, especially with all these Roman units coming out.
And there is I think especially as a player as skilled as Aran, in the actual combat of these things, you sometimes can lose the bigger picture for the small like unit kill kind of victories here, right? Which is, killing that warrior is okay, I suppose, but does he want to keep trading his more valuable units for unit kills here when he has this wave of units coming out, 2 of which are going to be upgraded immediately into axes? I don't know. I think he wants to keep this pressure going, but not be expensive. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, fighting this this Sword of the Gods. Oh, hang on a minute. Alright, he's going to have to dive deep now with the leader. He's going for it. But yeah, fighting this Sword of the Gods unit, that's such a big pickup for Klass. That's making a huge difference on the battlefield. Yeah, that's just disgusting. 12 damage he can do to a warrior. This Sword of the Gods warrior.
It is very, very strong for sure.
Yeah, and I think, as soon as Rome gets Hestus out, this fight is over, and look, the city is back to full health. There's no way the city is changing hands at this point.
Well, and I don't disagree with any of that, but again, from Aran's point of view, with all the knowledge and not being stuck in the moment, not having to make the tactical decisions, so I have the time to think about this. I think from Aran's point of view is he wants this next push to be the consequential one when he gets his next tier of units out. So really what he wants to do is not lose too much of his forces out there. And maybe this is okay. He's trading at the moment. He's trading civics for basically parity, right? Last turn he only lost the unit that he enlisted. This turn it looks like he'll probably only lose 1 warrior, and he did gain a warrior last turn. So at the moment he's kind of trading civics for time. Did you see his free African elephant get queued up in the tech card? So that will be quite a ways away, but still another powerful unit to complement this next round of units coming out. He did just spend his, I think that might have been a force march on that that zealot, because I just saw unfortunately his training drop super low here. I guess he's only got one warrior next turn to upgrade into the spear. So
He upgraded a Amazon Cavalry. He's just got an elite Amazon Cavalry down Nova. So yeah, there's definitely some more powerful units coming. But yeah, the question is, will they be in time to help with this fight?
Yeah. And it is frustrating sometimes when facing Rome because they have so much training rate that you really can't keep this general off the field. The best you can do is kill it every turn it shows up and make it only be able to attack every other turn. But at the moment, if this were any unit except the Sword of the God general unit sitting in a double 25% bonus spot, Rome would be totally unitless over here, or totally unable to compete. So.
Yeah, it's definitely clutch. But yeah, the Roman warriors are starting to flood in now. I think this is time for Carthage to back off. I think he's got to accept that he can't win this fight and he's got to preserve what he's got. But definitely
certainly,
a
I think he
tense
needs
fight.
to take favorable positions. I don't want to see him withdraw entirely from this city area. I want the pressure to still be there for him because I think his whole game setup has been to fight here. He's not set up for late. He's building barracks. He's got his next wave of units coming. He's got his African elephant coming out of the tech card. Like, this is when and where he wants to fight. And if you can't take an advantage in the early game as Carthage, either through your economy that you set up or from the positioning of the cities that you end up owning, are you really going to do that well? Like, this is your time, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Rome also excels early. Their extra training in all their cities is most impactful in the early game. So both of these nations are good at fighting an early fight. Obviously, we're seeing that they're likely were picked for that very reason. But yeah, Rome economy is going to struggle with consistent status production, says chat. Yeah, look at that iron. 0 iron stockpiled with 25 a turn coming in. Status cost what? Is it 200 iron?
No, it's I think it's 100 or
150.
150, yeah.
But even so, yeah. I mean, Rome does have quite a good money income, to be fair. You can buy quite a lot of iron. It's not super expensive as yet. Rome is in slavery, I believe, yes. That is where most of their iron is coming from. They just, in fact,
Rome getting raided too. It's going to be a tax on both units and orders right now, which is not something they probably want at this moment.
But yeah, just looking at that iron production, literally all of their iron is coming from slavery. They don't have a single mine in their entire empire. They have to start building a couple now, which makes a lot of sense. A little bit late, perhaps.
Training boost for Rome here. 800 training. That's going to be right. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure on the right faction. No, I'm not. I'm sorry, that's on Aran. So actually, yeah, I was selected the wrong one. So that's interesting. Did he change off the elephant, or did he finish the elephant? Finish the elephant. Okay. So Carthage has finished the elephant, gone into training boost. Training boost is actually really good for him here. He's making 100 a turn with some of his cities still not training. I think at least one of them will probably train on the unit again, bring that down a bit. But all of that, he's got a ton of money. So the limiting factor on upgrading his tribes right now is time and training. So training is going to be huge for him.
This is why Carthage is diving in. They're not backing off. They're not repositioning. They're just going to convert another unit by the looks of it. They're going to try. Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, getting away from that Sword of the God unit is pretty smart.
Yeah.
We'll pull at least one of those bonuses out of that Ranger bonus. On the other hand, this is I mean, he is attacking softer units, right? This is preventing Rome from getting any number of units up and running as he kills the reinforcements, essentially bypassing the tankier, more dangerous unit in the back. However, you're right, it's very far from your line here.
Yeah, it's risky, but I guess if he's gambling on, he's got the elephant up, he's got warriors he can upgrade into steel, he has the cash to do that, he's got cavalry coming in, so yeah, I guess he just wants to stay in the fight and try and make it work. But yeah, wild times.
From this, right? Like, this is before the timing Rome wants to fight. So Rome is fighting weaker units into stronger units, and Rome has spending resources to deal with this, rushing units, burning training, changing their path, taking things like border expansion when they don't particularly care about it because they just need to get these techs faster. It hurts Rome to be forced to fight like this. And Aran is sitting on when he compares his score, when he looks at the score to Klass, he still shows as much stronger, right? So in his mind, he may not be risking very much going deeper here.
Yeah,
Rome doesn't have any units. He knows this.
Yeah, Rome does not have very many units, and the Sword of the Gods leader is doomed, which is okay. Now that changes things quite dramatically then. With the Sword of the
I
Gods
swear there's a hidden modifier on that thing that makes that happen.
out of the picture, that's, yeah, quite a problem for Rome indeed.
Yep, that's a big deal. And actually, that's super bad. Did he get his 4th law this turn, though? He did. Okay, because if he loses that judge before he gets to upgrade, he doesn't get the Hystastis for another 5 turns or whatever it takes to build. So at least here, and he's not doing it, though. He's got the stronghold queued. He's not upgrading the garrison. Has he forgotten?
What?
Judge?
Where? What?
Look.
Where?
The worker hasn't moved yet, but look at in Roma. You see the worker standing on the tile? Click the worker. You can see the pin for the stronghold.
Oh, yes. Well, let's hope he doesn't forget about upgrading the stronghold, because, yeah, that would be a big mistake.
Yeah, it would be a huge mistake right now, because he does not want to wait another 5 turns before he has access to the Hystastis when he can be building them this turn. Certainly, he doesn't want to be building warriors out of his champion seat capital when he could be building UUs. So.
All right, we've just taken another warrior kill. We've got a crit from his 8% crit chance warriors. 2 hitting, killing warriors. So it's 1 more down. Rome is now wisely hiding most of his units in his cities, so he doesn't want to get yet another unit converted. He's slowly rising up to this. Generaling up.
Yeah, but all these... I mean, he's keeping us in tension here, right? Which is he's not showing us whether or not he's upgrading that garrison.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see indeed. But
I'm set up to build that stronghold, right? The worker's standing on the tile with the pin. It very much screams, I'm going to build this here. But it's wrong. It's definitely wrong.
Yep. I'm quite interested to see what Carthage does now. Maybe they can kill a tactician warrior, but they'd have to come back to the forest. I suspect they don't really want to be doing that. And yeah, Rome hasn't given them any targets. Wow, Rome is chopping forest with that worker.
Yeah, it's insane. This is the last turn. I mean, depending on doomed is what, 70% to die? So the bulk of the time here, he does not get another turn with this judge. This is his, most of the time, his last turn to get that citadel, or that stronghold rather, right now.
Yeah, he can still do it.
Goes for another chop though.
Oh, he can
Water
still do it. No! No!
Again, that's another mistake.
Oh,
it's a big one.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Okay. Right, well, yeah, balls back in Carthage is cool. What are they going to do? So someone was asking in chat about reinforcements. Oh, wait, it's Mr. Bullmoose. Hello, Mr. Bullmoose. So we've got a axe here that's nearly fully healed. We've got a warrior who needs to upgrade to an axeman. I think he's been sitting there for a turn. I'm not quite sure why he hasn't moved. This elephant needs to move as well. Yeah, I think that must be right. I think Carthage must be order constrained. Maybe needs 4 units to sit here and do nothing, but that feels like a unfortunate position to be sitting in, and just in the middle of 3 Roman cities surrounded by units. What are these units doing?
Well, they probably slow move back here. If Aran is really on the ball, he's tracking on the doomed. Now he may or may not be. Like that's not something you always notice in the heat of trying to make the rest of your moves in a short period of time like this. So really, those units now want to collapse back towards the middle city, in my opinion. That's what I would do. But again, this is Aran. Aran's undefeated in this tournament, and I certainly am not. So,
are they? Yeah, they're coming back. Okay. He decided not to take the convert, even though he probably could kill that warrior. But he's just done a straight attack with the leader. Not sure.
Yeah, maybe tracking on the 4 laws of Klass, wanting to save those for the Hystastis, possibly. But this is where all his orders are going. These are big moves. When you take combat moves that are all 3 movement points plus your attack, that's 4 per unit, you burn through orders super fast here.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, though. Sorry, go on.
He's got a lot of things he wants to do over here. You can see a trader worker starting to road up from his southern cities, all of which are finishing units in 2 turns. So ideally what he would like is that road to be connected so that he can rapidly move his reinforcements up there. But the trader workers also take 1 million orders, right? They can be doing up to 6 a turn or something with, actually more with the movement. It's going to be like 9 a turn, right? It's move to 3 tiles, place 3 roads, and I guess just six. But yes, point being that there's another order sync, right?
Yeah, no, it's tricky. It's tricky stuff. But yeah, there's another warrior down immediately, 1 tapped from the Sword of the Gods leader, who managed to survive a turn of being doomed. So he does still have time to cancel this stronghold and upgrade his garrison if he remembers. Another turn of grace on that one.
Yeah. He's giving between the sword of the gods, the free spear, and the extra turn of life here. I mean, the RNG is giving him enough that he could be doing something. Could be doing something with this. Let's see. Let's see if he manages to convert that.
What a game! Well, our players are certainly giving us a show here for the semi-final. Great to see two champions slugging it out. I love the map choice as well. We're actually getting some early fighting. Nice to have a bit of a change of pace from some of the games recently, which have gone a bit longer.
Yep. Have you seen the raid on the south here?
I have not been tracking on the raid at all. Where's that coming? Oh, no, Rome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's having to divert a warrior to deal with that. I don't think that doesn't look like it's going to cause him huge amounts of problems, but yeah.
They've been farming that city center for unhappiness though for a couple turns now, so that's got to be pretty unpleasant.
See, there's a settler in Carthage just hanging around doing outs. I don't think Aran's going to get a chance to use that anytime soon.
That Vandal site is still unsettled, so I think you're right. Soon being the keyword there.
Yeah,
there is still a location for it. Yeah. And you know, on the one hand, you have a settler, but you can always upgrade that to a worker. On the other hand, your opponent's planted a city for you. Now it's a few turns out, but give us some time to get some development going, right?
All right, so back to Carthage. I'm hoping we're going to. What do you think? I think a full retreat is really called for here because Carthage really wants to preserve these units.
I have been arguing this for a while now. I do think he wants to come out of this with as few unit losses as possible and make his next wave the one that is the deciding wave. So I also would like to see these units survive. There is a chance, though, for another conversion here. He got a little bit unlucky with that doomed leader not dying. This from Aran's perspective, the unlucky here. Obviously lucky from Klass's perspective. But he may look for another unit of some sort here. But I think he needs to back up at this point. These are expensive units.
Yeah, I see the Zealot in Carthage is severely ill now as well, so not quite doomed, but decent chance of dying pretty quickly.
Yeah. He may... I mean, that's interesting, though, because... What's his... I haven't looked at his follow-up. His follow-up is a builder. So he may wish to get the maximum value out of Enlist before that unit dies. So he may look for one more here.
He may do. I'm not sure he has the damage, does he? Can he kill anything? I'm not seeing it.
Not without more, right?
Yeah. He did just get a free spearman popped from an event out of Cartena, an axe upgrade, potentially another axe upgrade. So there's plenty more units to come into the fight. Yeah, we are seeing some units backing off for attacking a city. I mean, standing on the urban is a much better position for his units, right? He's actually, even the Sword of the Gods leader is only doing 5 damage to the elite club thrower on the urban. Because he can have
7 from the forest as well. Tile. Yeah. Yeah, he might be doing zone of control stuff here. That might be clever here, just to prevent the units. Again, Aran is, every time I played him, he's been excellent with his unit positioning, including zone of control stuff. So he may be doing a fighting retreat here in such a way that he doesn't just get his units. Nope, guess not. Get his units surrounded there. The other thing that this has cost him, the movement in and then back again, is he's now had that elephant in his cap for I think 2 turns, right? And it hasn't moved. And that unit really wants to be on the front right now.
Might even be longer than that. I think it's there's been quite a few units sitting around in Carthage doing nothing for a while now. Let's have a quick look. When did that elephant come? 33. Oh no, it's only 2 years. You're quite right.
Order constrained for sure.
All right.
But,
well, this is looking better. I think. I mean, there is another warrior popping out of events next turn, so I imagine that if Rome wants to take a kill, they probably can.
I expect they will, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You think it's looking better from what perspective? From Rome's perspective?
I forget what I was saying and why I was saying it, to be honest.
Okay. I think this looks actually worse from Rome's perspective than it did a second ago, with the judge dying. Not upgrading, or the judge about to die, presumably not upgrading this garrison, and then Carthage in the meantime has got that next wave we've been talking about, right? Or I've been talking about. We've got 2 slingers pop next turn, a warrior pops next turn, 2 tribal units being upgraded. The elephant is now moved almost to the front line. The trader worker has finally got off his butt and built some roads, so there's now 3 more roads along the way. And then there's a spearman that spawned, an axe that got promoted, and another warrior. This is a huge wave that's going to come in and hit the city in a second.
Yeah, to be fair, Carthage does still have a lot more units there. Only stronger now rather than much stronger, but still. So the Roman leader has finally died. He's got a hero on the throne now, which is interesting. He doesn't have a big stockpile of training, that is Rome. But Rome does have a big training income, so if he could build up for a few turns, he could get a nice launch offensive going. We haven't seen an awful lot of launch offensives, I think, so far in the tournament, so it's going to be interesting if he manages to get that work. Bullmoose is asking what's the thought of spears versus axes here for Rome. Phalanx leads to 7 laws for steel matches axes to Carthage. Yeah, Rome just wants a status, right? They don't care about spears or axes particularly.
No, I think I actually don't like this pickup. I think this pickup should be husbandry instead, because I think really what they're wanting is rerolls into military drill and sovereignty as much as they can. So I don't exactly know why spears here as opposed to, it could be, you know what it could be? That scout down there has probably seen those Scythians moving through. So he may be looking for an answer to some of the tribal horse units, possibly.
Yeah.
And that elephant that he may have vision on too, right?
He does have vision on the elephant, from that border.
So he may be thinking about that kind of stuff, but I don't like the spear pickup here either.
I think that's fair. Well, I think that's fair, and to be fair, he can't really go for 7 laws because he doesn't have the culture. He's 55 turns away from strong culture in his capital. 26 in his statesman seat, to be fair, but even so, don't love the idea of a 7 law push.
No, I'm not suggesting a 7 law push from Rome. I'm suggesting that he probably wants to get to barracks more than anything else, which is just a faster turnaround. If you think he's maybe setting up phalanx for citizenship for 7 laws, is that what you're thinking?
Well, no, I think Bulmus was just saying phalanx does lead to 7 laws. Yeah, maybe potentially, but I don't think Rome needs barracks. They're spamming out warriors so quickly as it is. I think they need to invest in other things more than training production.
That's interesting. This is oddly reminiscent of Scientific's argument, where he's like he likes his training in intervals of units built, which is insane to me. Like, who cares, right? Like, you have overflow, and like the more the merrier for training rate. So it's the opportunity cost of that I agree with on Scientific, and perhaps you're suggesting exactly that here, right? Which is the other things he could be doing might be a better use of his stats.
Rome has the training to get units out. I would say he needs to make sure he can actually build good units and that he can afford those units. It's much more important.
But these 2-turn warriors are going to rapidly switch in the capital to Hystasis, and the Hystasis are not going to be 2-turn. I like high base rates make multipliers better, right? So for Rome actually gets more advantage out of a barracks, and a champion seat in particular gets even more value out of a barracks than non-Rome, right? So
yeah, it's true.
I like multipliers on high base values.
You see some pings from Klass here. Upgrade, damn judge, never plays them and keep forgetting. Just realised, how is he still 5 turns on a stronghold? Didn't he start that last turn? Confused.
Yes, I think he did. I also don't know. There's another thing I want to point out here on both sides here, which is most of the things in this game are visible to both sides. Like, you look at and there's a couple that are hidden, right? So some of the hidden things that are interesting right now is we're commenting on Rome does not have 800 training, so cannot launch an offensive. But Carthage can't see that. Carthage has only a very rough estimation of Rome's training, and not a good one, right? So there's always a threat with the hero on the field that a launch offensive can be happening.
I hate to interrupt you, but yes, Stompy Boys are on the field, and we're going for a full route through these warriors. This is looking very nice for Carthage. Yeah, we could easily route another unit here. If we could even get a maybe a convert on this last warrior here just before this slinger dive, that would be fun.
I think he's going for yet another kill after that, because otherwise I think you're right. I think we would have seen that enlist. He's sitting on 1,000 civics, and his next law is only 4 turns away, so he can spend 400 here and have no problem.
Yeah. I don't know. He'd have to, I think, march the axe in to actually get the kill, but he definitely could get the kill. So yeah, I think we could see 2 kills and none on the list here, which is certainly quite a swing. It's got to put Carthage back at, they're already much stronger. Nice. Oh, we see a panic. That's... Oh, I guess that makes space for the axe. Perfect. Yeah, it doesn't need to minus the axe. Alright, love that. Very good.
His leader's doomed too, so this will be essentially the last enlist he can get, but getting 1 more out of the Zealot before it leaves the field I think is really good. This is kind of the opposite of the play we just saw from Klass. Klass with that extra turn to get the upgrade on the garrison, not using it, Aran utilizing his leader down to the last turn of life. He's dying on his bed, and he's like, one more attack, sir, get in there. So,
love it. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, me too.
We have not seen it yet. I wonder if Aran is just thinking about where best to put his... Oh,
wasn't in the list, though, just the attack.
Didn't take the
Doesn't
enlist.
want the warrior?
I guess not. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking he's got better uses for those civics. Not sure what at this point.
I guess it'd have to be rushing, right? So what that does say to me is that he's not sitting here going, I absolutely need another warrior here. He feels comfortable in his attacking position to the point that he does not think 400 civics is worth a warrior. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, it's... I mean, he's certainly in a dominant position here.
It's been yeah.
Especially with it being at least another 6 turns before the status can come out. Then, yeah, maybe Carthage has enough time to actually take a city here.
Huh, that second wave of units doing something, huh?
Yeah, nice call.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I don't mean to be a dick about it, but...
No, it's absolutely fair. Definitely interesting game. Love to see it. Mark that tactic for the highlight reel, says Purple Moose. I assume you mean the Stompy Boy route. Yeah,
that was pretty close. Was that a change or an axe versus? I didn't notice where the axe came from. Was that a force march, or did it change from a not able to attack it at all into available to attack it, or did it change it from force march attack it to not force march attack it?
Yeah, the second one. Yeah, the axe would have had to force march, but the panic got him in the right place.
Clever.
Yeah,
clever.
Very nice.
Panic is predictable too when it's so the way panic works is if the tile directly behind the unit being attacked is available, so opposite the elephant, it will always move to that tile. Otherwise, it is random between the other tiles if it's going to be a panic, and if it has no movement, no places it can move at all, it doesn't panic at all, it gets a debuff instead, it gets a disarm debuff. So it is predictable. So if you are familiar with them and use them well, you can control movement, and it's very powerful when you do that.
Yeah, I think it's certainly true that if the space opposite is empty, then they'll always go there. I'm not sure if it is actually random where they go otherwise.
Unpredictable enough to... Perhaps random is the wrong word, but unpredictable enough you cannot predict. I had Solver look it up for me. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I will certainly trust Solver then. Yeah, fair enough.
Because I asked that question because I love elephants and I wanted to know how they worked.
Aran is skilled with elephants. Aran is just skilled with everything. I'm constantly in awe of Aran's play.
Very well-rounded. Very well-rounded. So again, we're seeing these stupid warriors get spammed out of the capital. I think this timing has just pushed Rome entirely off his game. Look, his whole empire now is building warriors, but this is turn 37. We don't want to see your whole empire building warriors. I guess those workers out preemptively makes this a little bit less painful. The cities are still developing while this is happening, but warriors are not the fighting units you want versus axes, 6 strength club throwers, and elephants. It's just not going to do anything.
Yeah, not having any ranged units. Well, literally warrior is the only unit where you can build, and 37 is definitely not where you want to be. And just a bit too greedy. So we're seeing some walls being built in Aventicum now, which don't love, but don't think that's going to save the day. Maybe if he can keep spamming warriors into the breach, he'll have long enough to get those walls built. So it's looking great for him at the moment.
No, and having access to even a single routing unit is just such a game changer for fights, especially if the fights are all warriors on one side, right? They're gonna be clumped up in melee, and they're going to be easily routed by a 6 strength unit like this, like the African elephant here. So here, a lot of times I find Carthage's unique unit to be a little underwhelming since their elephants already exist in the game. But here, it's actually really nice that the fact that they have rout on the African elephant, but regular elephants do not have rout, because I think it will actually be quite useful. It's already been useful in this game. That was 3 attacks out of that 6 strength unit last turn, as opposed to the 1 you'd get from a non-routing unit.
Yeah, and taking great advantage again of the panic ability to get that tactician warrior out of the forest, which ranged units can attack him efficiently without taking any damage. Love to see that. And of course, because he attacked across the river, then he didn't take very much damage from the counter attack.
And here's this follow-up. This is a different style of playing Carthage. And, here this fight's been going on for a long time. So this fight has been happening for probably, I don't know, 10 turns at this point or whatnot. It's been maybe 7 turns or something. But this is what I like to see from Carthage. It's not just I have tribals and therefore I don't need to do anything else. It's I have tribals and I have axes and I have slingers and I have elephants behind it. So it's like his whole empire right now is focused on this task and has been focused on this task for ages of wanting to force a fight at 5 strength units, and that's what he's done.
Yep, no, very nicely done. I'm just looking at the Carthage succession, which is quite interesting. So there is a regent on the throne now and a 6-year-old rightful heir, and that is because the builder is still alive, but Aran has changed his succession law to ultimogeniture, so the youngest child inherits. So the builder is now 4th in line, and he's got a commander regent, which is presumably the archetype he wanted, or at least the archetype he wanted more than a builder.
But you can't control for the regent, right? Regent is a random pick from the family? So
regent is somewhat random, yes.
I mean, I guess if you look at you can go to his family and look. So what are his available options? There was the patriarch, which I don't know if patriarch can do that. The family head, maybe he was hoping for the family head hero. I mean, it's not a bad lineup. It's mostly schemers, couple commanders, a tactician, couple schemers, a zealot, a hero. There's 1 diplomat, 1 builder in there. So maybe it was just a dice roll as I want a military leader right now. I don't want to mess around with a builder right now. So any military leader, and the odds are like 7 of 10 or 8 of 10 or whatever the odds actually were for that. Well, this is a dice roll, I think.
I mean, it can be, yes, but this new queen is the wife of the old ruler. So there is a special event for relatives to assume regency, which can trigger for spouses and aunts and uncles and grandparents. So I think it's definitely better odds, and I believe it might.
Something interesting too. Scion says when you change the law, it will show you the new ruler. If that also includes people outside of your family, so if you change the law to make a kid underage rule and it shows you the region, I don't know that one way or the other, and I don't know if Scion was implying that.
No,
if that
I
is
don't
the
think
case,
he was. You can't see the regent. No, there's no indication of that. But I think if you know the rules of the game and know that spouses can be regents, and he had a spouse who was available, then I think he took a fair stab at.
So walk me through that. Sorry, I kind of jumped the gun on trying to get that point in before you went too deep on elaborating that it might have been through knowing what that was from the chat point. So walk me through exactly how it works with the spouses.
So basically, when you have a regency, when kids are too young to rule, there are 3 classes of characters who can be regents from the family. So spouses, aunts, uncles, and grandparents can all be regents. And if there is an available character who can be the leader out of one of those categories, I'm not sure if it's guaranteed, but I think it's a fairly high likelihood that one of them will offer to be the regent, or in fact insist on being the regent if the child is young enough. And if one of those characters are not available, that's when you get a fully random regent taking over, which I think is generally the family head. One of the family heads.
Gotcha. So there was some, if Aran was tracking on that, knew that rule, and spent the time to figure out what his available options were, he may have deliberately chosen for something, probably not as 1-to-1 as I want that character, but probably out of a few characters. So that's interesting. It's a really interesting play. Strong here. I mean, a commander on the field right now is decent if he gets that unit on the field. I'm not sure it's so strong just as a leader. All of his tribal units don't gain experience. I suppose he could be using it as a commander who can't normally be a governor, can be a governor if they are the leader of the empire. So it is possible that he's using it for the training multiplier, but commanders aren't super high courage. So I'm expecting what the strength of that, there it is. It's equipped to the axe in his riders. So he's going to use that as the flanking bonus. And that bonus is super strong when there's a small number of units in the field, so you can actually force flanks to happen pretty regularly. And also later in the game when you have very mobile units like cataphracts.
Yeah, so the commander will do okay. Certainly if you can get it adjacent to another act, that's obviously a little bit more strength. The flanking bonus is great, although it won't actually help him take the city, because you can't flank a city. But certainly something. Does Rising Star or Power Hungry have any impact on the questions in the chat? I don't believe they do interact with regencies at all now. I don't think there's a particularly likely to get a power hungry or voting star regent. They can just claim to take the throne, but that would be outside of regency.
If we look through this, all right. I don't want to call this one way or the other yet, but it's looking pretty bad for Klass right now. What does Klass need to do to recover from here? So he did invest more resources in that city. He is getting punished for that. This next wave of units is very deep from Aran, as expected with what we saw building in his tech path here. So this is now quite a scary set of units. These are 6 strength range units on the horses, 6 strength range units on the club throwers, each with their own sets of bonuses. Shield bearer on the horses and fierce on the infantry, the club throwers, and then axes with a routing unit to top all that off. So this city is going to go down. It's just a matter of how many turns, and probably not that many with this many units here and no other defending forces. So the question is, what can Klass do from here? What should he be doing from this game state? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think he needs a status, obviously. He needs better units. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't seem likely that he can hold the city, but the more he can contest that, the better. I mean, I don't think he can really do anything at this point, right? Klass can't kill any units now. He could perhaps...
put bloody vigilant governor in there to keep that walls as annoying as possible. He can keep spamming repair. If he was going to build some unit from that city, I really wish he had built a walls instead of that warrior that he built there, but he didn't, so whatever from here. Certainly he needs to, I mean, as you say, the Hystastas are going to be good. There's only 2 cities in his empire right now that can build that. And he's not particularly investing in culture anywhere else that I can see, right? So it's only going to be his statesman seat, which he is building a stronghold in, 4 turns away from that before he can start building Hystastas there, and not particularly good military production there, no barracks or anything like that, right? And then he's got his cap, which we'll be able to build in 2 turns, which will be good. How does he hold that northern city then? Is it a walls? Is it forts? Does he need a road up there to get there faster? Does he start fortifying these warriors, which I think are going to get just deleted by the units on the board? How does he defend that northern city? Because he needs to not give up another city here if he wants to be in this game still.
I don't know that he can. I mean, I guess with enough warriors, perhaps. But yeah, I hate the fact that he's moving warriors in now. They're looking very exposed now. These warriors just standing around in the open here. Looks like they're maybe forming up behind the river here. But that's not really going to help him against all of Carthage's ranged units.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that. Carthage already showed him that that Carthage is willing to dive into those hills behind the city and behind the city to take unit kills. So it is surprising to me to see Klass double down on the strategy that's already been shown to be vulnerable.
Well, I mean, you could argue perhaps that Carthage diving in was certainly very costly for Carthage. I mean, they lost quite a few units. They spent a huge amount of orders, several turns just moving those frontline units around, so maybe
they lost 1 unit there. They lost one of the retreating. They lost the warrior they stole, right? And then they lost the zealot slinger on way like 3 or 4 turns later from retreating. So I'm not actually sure how costly it was. Very costly in orders. I'm not contesting that at all. I'm not so sure it was costly in units, especially with the enlist coming out of there as one of the units they took out of it.
Yeah, the enlist certainly made a difference, but I mean, bear in mind that hero, Sword of the Gods, not hero, but Sword of the Gods leader was at least killing a unit every turn. So I hadn't tracked exactly how many units they lost versus how many they enlisted, but it felt like they lost quite a few units. But yeah, I would say it was an even trade, or maybe not even, but it was certainly both sides took losses from that. But yeah, I don't think these warriors can sensibly contest this at this point. I think he does need to back off, probably fortify them behind that northern champion city maybe, and wait for some better units really. What he needs.
I hate the generals here too, because the generals will make these units slightly stronger for sure, which is great, but they're so warriors versus this stuff. They're still not really able to compete, and it's draining his training pool for his heroes launch offensive. And I think that's really one of the ways I see him being able to get back in this is get 2 Hystastas, get a launch offensive, do some serious damage on the turn. If we look at the losses, by the way, it's 7 to 12 units lost, with Rome losing 12 and Carthage 7 at the moment.
Okay, interesting. So we see ranged units are still bombarding. We've got an axe moved forward, but he's not taking the attack. He's just occupying the urban position here. So yeah, that axe is going to be hard to take down, especially because it's a zealot. Who'll definitely need at least one more, maybe two more units to kill that axe, which maybe he could do. But yeah, it's certainly not going to be easy.
Yeah. Nice positioning from Aran as always here. Or every time I play against him, his positioning seems bloody too annoyingly good versus me. But like, there's just not a lot of surface area, right? So one of the ways when you have a weak unit like a warrior, it takes a lot of hits. You have no range to follow it up. Your warrior, a lot of warriors need to attack a target, and there's just no surface area on any of those ranged units. It's just a line, right? There's the most he gets is 2 attacks on any one of those ranged units.
Yeah, no, they're
Now,
very
his axe
safe.
coming forward is a bit sketchier. I guess he's looking for the city kill this turn. Maybe he's mathed it out. Oh, he's pumping out and then... Yeah,
Oh, he's one hit. Oh no, he can if he marches and flanks. Of course, now the city walls are down, he can flank. So yeah, he can still
I
do
wonder
it.
if he miscalculated on the terror. Did he break the walls first and then attack the elephant? Or did the elephant break the walls? I didn't see.
Oh, he's not doing it though. I would have loved to see him march and actually taking the city this turn. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? It's that city is falling.
I wonder if he missed the fact that the panic of the elephant no longer applies to the leader, right? That's a new change. Would it have panicked out of the city?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't have panicked out of the city anyway. Even with the walls down.
Gotcha. I didn't know that one way or the other.
Yeah, in fact, he could have marched the slinger up and taken the attack with that first, and then done that. So there's a couple of different. I guess. Oh no, he's out of orders. Yeah. All right. Maybe he could have done that. Maybe he didn't even have the orders for the march. He didn't actually crack that. Still,
yeah,
that city's going down. I don't think there's only two ways about that. Even if Ren comes in and kills a unit, it's going to be very easy to take that city next turn and probably kill another unit as well.
Yeah. Again, it's too bad that Rome is burning their training on generals here on warriors, in my opinion. Because I mean, one of the things that could happen from this turn is he might be able to get that. He may or may not know that elephant is a tech unit, but there's no elephants in the capital. So, and he knows the capital is traders, so he's got to at least suspect that it's a tech unit. Removing a tech unit from the board often means he can't replenish it, right? And he knows the guy's not in 4 laws yet. So yeah, so killing that is actually worth quite a lot compared to anything else on the field right now. It's his only routing unit. It's quite a powerful unit in of itself, and he doesn't have access to more of them.
Yeah.
So
if only Rome had some ranged units, he might be able to do that. But no.
yeah. Or if he hadn't given up his spear super early, he might have been able to do something with the splash, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we're 1 turn away. I would like to see him run something that does not use training in his capital, so that the overflow from that warrior, I'd have to look how much it is exactly. Maybe it's not anything, in which case it won't matter. But if it's anything above about 3 or 4, I would like to see him utilize that for the next unit build. So basically take a turn off and start Hystasys next turn.
Yep. Can start building next turn indeed. How long would it take him to build a status? 4 years? And I imagine he's going to be civic rushing them as soon as he can. Alright, so Rome is attacking an axeman. Can he actually kill that axeman?
I hate this.
He can.
Streaming in, inefficiently trading and getting wiped off the board. This is his defense for his next city, and it's dying right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking an axeman. It's something.
Yeah, but how many of these warriors does he lose? I bet you he loses all of them?
Oh, with that elephant
probably not
there.
all.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, right? Like, that's so bad for him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose a few. Yeah.
And what's the follow-up on Carthage?
I think that was a mistake, but I think to be fair, the mindset is, I don't think Klass feels like he can afford to lose this fight. I think he's thinking if he loses this fight, the game is over. Therefore, he needs to keep on going in, keep on throwing everything he has at it, just trying to hold the line. And maybe I was going to say maybe he can, but I don't think he can. But I think a lot of times the tournament, the casters have said, "Oh no, everyone's been convinced that you can't possibly hold a city. You should run away. This is a terrible idea," and then they've surprised us and managed to end up holding. So we will see.
This is a terrible idea. You cannot possibly defend the city, and defending it is a terrible idea. Let me just get that out of the way so we have that on the record if it's not clear already.
We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's not like old world has a ton of comeback mechanics. So there is something to be said about like, like we're not. It's not like his next city is much more defensible than this one. But again, I called this 15 turns ago. Now I think the worst thing that Rome can do here is just slowly is to over trade in the wrong direction. Right, all of their resources pumping inefficient units, trading with the most efficient timing of Carthage, and then expect to have a mid game after this. Again, it was a sloppy application of taking the camp in the middle here. So he set himself up for this problem. But I think the response can't be just to double down on something that isn't working. It's got to be to figure out, okay, well, I don't love my position. I'm going to have to give up the city. But if I want to be in this game, what can I do to stay in this game? And I don't think it's this.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Presumably, Aran realizes if he takes the city with the elephant, he's not going to be able to route. So let's just hope he avoids that.
That's not true, right? He can route the hero still. He just can't leave the city, right?
I am not convinced that's true. I'm not actually 100% sure on that. You think he will be able to route through the warrior and then, kill the hero?
Yeah.
Maybe.
My understanding is when you're in the city center, you don't leave the city center, but you still have access to route, I think. So I think if he killed the commander warrior in the city center with the elephant, he would be able to then kill the hero with the elephant. But I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well, he's not risking it. He either knows or he's not risking it. So he's taking the kill with the leader. And he's now going to kill at least a couple of warriors. Quite possibly, I don't know, actually, does he have the melee units? Yeah, no, I'm not sure he has the melee units to kill another warrior here.
Well, he can push this warrior out of the forest.
Of course, of course he can. He knows exactly what he's doing. Very good.
Yeah.
He is going to lose the elephant.
He occupies the forest himself. Well, I mean, if he loses the elephant here, it's because Rome has to commit 2 more units that will die next turn.
Yeah.
So what was this trade? 1 axe for 3 warriors? 4 warriors? I'm not even sure. It was 4, right? It was 1 axe for 4 warriors.
Rome just lost 4 warriors.
That is not a trade that Rome can do.
Indeed, and they have 3 warriors and a spearman left in their entire army, so they do have spears now. Agree to disagree. Yeah, all right.
Do like the council. That's a good play from Rome here. I guess the decree timing lines up perfectly with the stronghold, so that's fine one way or the other. I doubt he actually needs the orders. I doubt he has enough units to move, but we'll see.
Yeah, of course, Rome is still dealing with 2 raiders down here in the south, which is unfortunate for him.
Oh, look at that, too. The positioning of those units, taking those tiles, really kind of denies access to that hero unit to even get to the elephant. And that hero unit is horsebaned with a very happy general, but I don't think it can get there. So that elephant might not even be possible to be killed here.
He can get the spear in. He can get a spear and 1 tap it if he gets it in the right position. That's the Roman fatigue from all the way from the back line, just moving that in.
Yeah, but
whether that's a good idea or not. But,
exactly. Then it's 3 units he trades instead of 2 to get the elephant.
Yeah.
So each of these things compounding, right? I don't know. Defending the city has always been real questionable from my point of view. Now,
yeah. Well, it certainly doesn't look like it's worked out. I think I probably would trade the spear for the elephant at this point just to get the elephant off the field. But
I think spears are very low value for him too, because his opponent's literally rocking 3 axemen up front here, or 2 axemen right there. So I don't really like spears in general. And if you are going to use them, what are you countering? You're countering the horse units and the elephant. So
all right, he did take the spear.
Commander axes are spooky as hell too. Double commander axes. We didn't comment on that on the last turn. The regent commander, I didn't notice it flanked. I don't even know if you can flank city units inside a city. Presumably you can if the walls are down.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. You can't flank cities, but you can with the walls down. Yeah, just looking at that hero, that leader, the leader commander can do 10 damage to that spear, and then if he gets a unit behind it, then presumably that's just 20 damage. So it'll be an extra 100% on base. Oh, he has moved a unit in the way, so that's easy to do.
I don't even know if he can do that, though. I don't know if flanking applies. Does flanking apply across rivers like that?
Yeah. It does.
Okay. So,
yeah. Well, Rome is still coming in. They've upgraded another spear. They've got another warrior attacking. They're insisting on trying to hold this. Carthage will need some reinforcements. Carthage will need some reinforcements at some point. They're certainly outnumbering them here, but if it's a game of attrition, then Rome can certainly afford to reinforce. Well, they can reinforce quicker than Carthage can.
Yes. Yeah. I believe It's interesting. Maybe a small mix of spears is better than just pure warriors here, but spears are more expensive, like 80 compared to the 60, right? And if I remember correctly on the math, doesn't it work out that a spear is actually weaker than a warrior versus an axe?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is, I believe.
So somehow he's managed to go from fielding only warriors to fielding units weaker than warriors. So that's a questionable upgrade.
Well, I mean, there are still a couple of horse units on the field. He can potentially get some value out of these spears.
Yeah, but I want to see it as a small mix, not the predominant unit that he's pushing out here. And we've just seen him upgrade his existing warrior at the cost of friggin' training into a spear, which I don't want to see him do. He's got a hero. He's
Yeah.
not leveraging that at all. I want to see Hystastus, launch offensives, and a mix of mostly warriors still from his build queue with a few spears to help counter the small number of tribals and elephants.
And don't
I think that's
forget,
his best shot of fighting this.
that upgrade didn't only cost training; it cost him iron, which he needs for a status, and he has none. And it also cost him wood, which he has none, which he's had to buy, presumably, and possibly chop. But even so, his economy is not looking so hot at the moment.
No, he's out too. He's out of gold entirely. His bank is empty, so he's making 150 a turn, but that's not.
Yeah, the price of iron, he must be buying a lot of iron, but the price is climbing up quite steadily now.
Yeah.
See what Carthage can do.
Yeah. On the flip side, Carthage is making 400 gold per turn with a 3.8k bank. Traders being
Beautiful.
traders. Yeah, that's a lot. Spamming decrees, still level 1 decrees, but he's using the orders, so that's something. Finally getting a shrine in Carthage Nova. If the game goes long, it would be something.
He's getting the flank with this Amazon cavalry, so the leader axeman can come in and do 14 or 16 damage, in fact, because the axe is doing there as well. So yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I wonder which way he'll do this.
He'll kill the spear, because the warrior is full zone of control right now. So if anytime he wants to, he can come back and kill that warrior.
Yeah.
Maybe this turn it works out otherwise, but right now the warrior can't leave, so he gets that kill next turn one way or the other.
I wonder if he bothers putting a unit in the city. Probably the slinger can't really do very much.
No, he's pretty order constrained too. If you look, he's got more reinforcements available, and he's got a raider that is attacking him that he needs to attack on, and all his workers are stopped.
Yeah,
so he's probably going to try to be order efficient.
And he's got another raider just coming out of the sipping camp in the south as well. Still, he's got a couple of hundred training. I guess he probably wants to save that for upgrades. But he could burn that on orders if he absolutely needs to.
Yeah. Yeah, tough decision here.
Yeah, he's 1 HP short of killing that spear with the, I guess, alright, okay. So he's going to use the, slinger to finish off the spear, and then he's getting an axe back into the city to complete that capture, or at least take it down another turn.
Yeah.
At this rate, the highlight reel is going to be 2 hours long. Very glad to hear. I'm looking forward to this highlight reel that Scientific is making. It's going to be some good times, I reckon.
Yeah, should be fun. This tournament has been, if nothing else, this community tournament has been a lot of fun. Casting it, watching it, talking about it, seeing the strategies from it, it's just been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been absolutely fantastic. We're very grateful to Alcaraz for coming up with the idea for it and getting the ball rolling. All the work Scientific has done in cheerleading it and making the awesome trailer for it, casting a huge amount of the matches
himself.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time and effort, so I really appreciate that too.
Been a lot of commitment, and not to mention all the other casters who've been giving up their time to commentate matches. It's been absolutely fantastic to see. And yeah, just all of the people playing multiplayer matches. The organising games channel on the Discord, if you're not on there, I recommend popping on if you want to have a match, but that's just been so busy lately with people setting up new games, and there's just been a whole lot of interest in multiplayer Old World, which is fantastic, because yeah, I mean, I love Old World, I really love multiplayer Old World. It's so fantastic to see more people getting into it. We're finally seeing the one lone warrior running away from the battlefield. Klass is deciding maybe he can't actually fight all these units with one warrior.
It really has committed that hero to a spear over the Hystastus. I guess he wants 2 attacks on the Hystastus, right? That's why he wants to launch offensive to trigger twice on the hero.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. He is building up training. He's got training coming in very nicely. He's spending a lot of it on assigning generals, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate these general assignments. I think they're hurting him more than they're helping him. They aren't keeping his warriors alive. They're not particularly doing much for his damage, and they're preventing his launch offensives, which is one of the few mechanisms he has right now to make an asymmetrical attack, right? Like his weaker units, he's got less of them. The opponent has chosen the field they're fighting in. Well, what does he have? Well, he has a unit ability his opponent doesn't have. He has launch offensive, but he can't use it because he doesn't have any bloody training for it.
well, I mean, to be fair, he can't use it effectively at the moment because he doesn't have any units.
But that's his own fault. He keeps throwing them in there, generaled for double damage, where he doesn't get his launch offensives off and he doesn't have the unit anymore.
Yeah. He definitely needs to fall back, build up a decent supply of units, build up his training supply. To be fair, I don't hate this tactician general on the status. That's going to be painful to deal with. Certainly, I mean, melee units are not going to do a huge amount of damage to that status anyway. But adding the tactician on is just insult to injury. Oh wow, and it's a ranger Highlander tactician. Wow, and a
quite a nice one, and
tough
quite happy
as well. Whoa.
And in love with the leader, so it's just all the bonuses. So now what he needs to find a spot he can actually fight from that. And actually here the elephant being dead is really valuable. It was really valuable all along because it's the routing unit gone, but it's also his panic source gone, right? Or terror, whatever it's called. So now he can't be moved off a tile he doesn't want to without being killed.
Yeah, exactly. So this Hestatus tactician can now just hang out in the forest, do huge amounts of damage, huge amounts of counter damage, and be basically take hardly any damage from range units. That's going to be a very difficult unit to deal with.
Well, Axe is already on the field from Carthage, and Axes are one of the better counters to Hestasis. No, there's no perfect counter to them, right? They are, in fact, good versus other melee. But on a training to training, like ratio of what it takes to make an Axe versus what it takes to make Hestasis, they're one of the better ones that trades with them. So I don't know. We'll see.
They're doing okay, but I mean, if you look at the combat preview, we're doing 3 or at most 4 damage to a status with an axe and taking 11 counterattack damage.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And there's Champion family again, just being so clutch here. This is one of the nice things of founding Champion as a capital, which is often not the play that happens. It's often second city that's Champion city. But this being his first city for Klass means that his Hestasis are going to be coming out of that city right off the bat, the earliest ones they can. And this Steadfast is just so good versus these the ranged units of Aran's army. All of Aran's ranged units, except these 2 slingers, are tribal. So the Hestasis is already very strong versus melee. Weaknesses maybe being some of the range stuff, or the range stuff are also weaker versus it, which is really nice for Klass.
Yeah. I think with a few Hestasis on the field, the battlefield is definitely going to turn around. I suppose the question is, what can he do with it? So questions from chat about stats. So let's just have a quick look at them. So Rome has now lost 18 units compared to Carthage's 9, so twice as many lost. And considering some of these Carthaginian units are tribal units, which should be getting deleted by the champions, definitely very much not in Rome's favour there. Carthage has only hired 6 mercenary units, not a huge amount. Then again, it's a small map, there weren't a huge amount of tribes to hire. Rome has produced 19 units, 18 warriors and 1 Hestatus, to Aran's 4 warriors, 1 axe and 3 slingers. Got 6 workers produced in Rome compared to Carthage's 3. 3 specialists in Carthage to 2 in Rome. So 2 rural specialists in Rome. And we've got a couple of urbans in Carthage, including 1 master acolyte and an elder shopkeeper. So that's quite nice. I must check the science rate in a minute. I must be favouring Carthage now, surely.
It is just a little bit here. It's starting to pick up for that too. It looks like his capital has had the time to build some specialists and invest in science. That shopkeeper being one of them, the acolyte being the other, while Rome is spamming units everywhere. For
sure. Carthage is way wealthier. Rome has quite a bit more population, 22 to 15. Let's see. Both click 5 camps each. Rome's on 4 lords. Carthage is only on 3. I don't think we're not really set up for building elephants, so probably not going to see that, although it might be worth checking on the Riders' seat, see if we're getting any more culture coming out there. Rome is actually ahead in technology discovered, 10 to 9. That must be bonus cards, presumably.
Yeah, there's at least 2 bonus cards we've seen out of Carthage, right? We saw the elephant and the training rate.
Rome actually does have a very slight advantage in total science invested, 969 to 955. So even though Carthage has a good per turn advantage now, 36 to 25, Rome is still ever so slightly ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting. Despite this being, I think, a series of kind of stacking mistakes from Klass here and fighting over this middle city, his position isn't lost yet. He may very well, with a couple Hystastas being rushed out here, be able to survive this immediate push from Aran. So if he can fight well with these and sets himself up to do so, he just got a combo event, it looks like, since that is not a champion unit. So picking up his first range unit off an event, which is great for him. He might actually be able to hold here for a minute. If Aran overcommits here and does something silly like leave some of those tribal units where they aren't well protected and Rome can get a good turn, maybe from a launch offensive, Rome might still be in this game. So I'll be curious now if Aran figures out a way to push this attack or takes a second to consolidate, having claimed the middle cities or not. Do you have a question?
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting position for Carthage to be in. Presumably he'll want to at least heal his units up here. I would have thought he'd want to push forward and keep claiming the advantage. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Two stats that I just wanted to call out here. Military score. We've got 640 for Carthage versus 230 for Klass. Carthage has just been way ahead all game, and yeah, as you say, Rome has thrown a lot of units away here. The other one is culture. Interestingly, Rome is way ahead on culture, 54 per turn in Rome compared to 9 in Carthage. 9 culture return in the entire Carthaginian Empire. So yeah, we are not going culture rushing. We've still got 0 culture return in the rider's seat. So yeah, we're not going to see elephants out there anytime soon.
Interestingly, I really wish again that Rome had, instead of going ziggurat, which has done very little for him, the number of improvements in his cities right now pretty small still. I really wish that had been Ishtar Gate in the capital. Because right now, in this situation, if all of his cities were at developing culture, all of his cities could build Hystastas right now, and he could stop spamming these stupid warriors and get something useful to the field right now. I really wish that had been Ishtar Gate from his perspective.
Yep, that would certainly be interesting. I guess Rome doesn't have the resources anymore, right? Yeah, they are bankrupt. So no more wonders for Rome anytime soon.
Yep. And looking through it, I mean, honestly, some of the more impactful wonders at developing and strong aren't in this game. So we're not seeing like Jebel or Mausoleum or not Mausoleum, Museum rather. Not seeing so many of these things. I think Acropolis is pretty low impact here. Colossus is okay, but it's a bit slow to get going. So the fact that Rome is ahead and doesn't have the resources combined doesn't really mean quite that much yet. However, if this game does stabilize a little bit and Rome hits legendary, I think that's a whole different story. So I think those legendary wonders are quite strong in this game.
Yes, I can't see the game going that long, but perhaps just because it's a small map doesn't necessarily mean we can't have a stalemate in development. Rome's currently 42 years away from strong in the capital and only 14 years in statesmanship, so there's potential there. But yeah, he does need to sort his economy out.
Yep, and he is. We're seeing the improvements coming down, a lot of mines going down, which makes a lot of sense. Even building flat mines, which is pretty garbage in general, but when you need iron and you have the workers there, it is better than not building mines at all. So, and you can stack those adjacencies up. I like to see it just as something happening. So, something to address his resource problems,
I mean, yeah, I guess it's okay, but I mean, it's not like he only needs iron. He does need other resources as well, so some more farms, quarries, other improvements would be good too.
Those workers are the same as the family to the northwest. He could have walked them over and built them on hills if you really need the iron. So maybe an order constraint thing, just trying to get it down. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So they're probably very cheap too, right? Because they're going to be, the improvements are with the discount off the ziggurat, I suppose. I guess it's still wood though.
16 wood, yeah.
Yeah. Don't suppose he's a frugal leader.
Inspiring, strict, extravagant. It's not helping. It's hurting his gold income.
Is, though.
Making too much difference. I guess it's helping his unit XP certainly.
Actually, I hate this fucking spear hero so much right now. I mean, that leader has 7 courage, and he's building Hystastas out of a champion seat, and he's hard building him right now. He's not rushing him. Why I mean, what's the general there right now? Is that hero just not better? I mean, it's a warlike 4. That's actually probably very similar. Might actually be better. So maybe that's not as bad as it looks right off the bat. But the leader can be anywhere, right? So that leader could be slotted. Maybe he will when he finishes this decree. No, he's finished the stronghold and he's building another decree. He's not building a stasis out of that city, out of his statesman seat.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's one word.
How much training does that have? It's a 12-year status, to be fair. That's not quick. I mean, he could potentially civic rush that, and that's probably a good use.
That's my point, though. He could be putting his hero, which has 7 courage, in that city for multiplying.
Right. It's given it. Sure. Yeah. Makes sense. Alright, so we are seeing some moving forwards from Carthage. They are healing their units, but they're doing so aggressively in front of the city. And they are very close to this northern champion city. So we could be seeing some more aggression here soon.
Yeah, and the positioning of Rome's troops are such that nasty Hystastus isn't in that, for example, the standing on the game or some version of this. I wonder, there's no hills in that northern city, and there's only those 3 forest tiles essentially along the way over there in front of that city. So I wonder if we will find a spot that unit can stand to do its maximum kind of damage or not. Because at the moment, it looks a little sketchy, and probably looks very sketchy from Rome's point of view. Rome has almost no vision, doesn't know what's behind this. And his opponent is just going to show us very strong or much stronger, whatever it is for this point. So he probably has no clue of exactly what he's facing.
What happened to Rome? Rome does have a scout deep in Carthage's territory, but yeah, it's definitely not in the right position to see what's going on. Wow, we're seeing a Byrene coming out. Interesting.
Possibly for faster reinforcements? It does seem bizarre, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can do with one Byrene. I can see maybe 2 Byrenes you could launch an attack in the south unexpectedly. Seems like quite a long-term play.
Carthage has very good vision. Yeah, I wonder if maybe he's thinking of, he settles that Vandal site. Doesn't he have a settler still sitting around too, or did they get upgraded to a worker? No, it's still there. So he could settle the southern Vandal site, and then the boat lets him get full access into the very open terrain of those southern cities.
Yeah, no, that actually is probably quite a nice play. It would be quite good to get another city up here. Alright, so we are seeing some defence now at Augusta. The status has moved into the city. We've got another warrior upgraded to a spear. Absolutely throwing resources at this problem.
Yeah, but the wrong resources. The spears are worse than warriors versus axes. So why is he doing this? Like it's not throwing resources at the problem so much as it's just throwing resources just away. Like they're not even being used for the problem in some sense. I mean, I guess if he can find the angle to attack the ranged attackers with that spear, he's getting a better payoff. But he needs a mix of units that are not just full spears here.
Yeah, I wonder if Rome is aware that Carthage can't build elephants. I would guess not. I mean, they know that they know that Carthage only has 3 laws, but potentially, they don't know that the rider's seat doesn't have the culture. So they could be hedging against potentially more elephants popping out real quickly.
I mean, that's a very interesting theory. That, I mean, let's say you're 100% right. So I'm not discounting it as a theory, but let's say that is the rationale. That rationale still doesn't make any sense. He's got spears, he's got axes in front of him right now. So why is he worrying about the future potential of a single city that can't yet produce elephants but may be able to soon, versus the unit on the board taking his cities right now?
Yeah,
yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Direction.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you can see the 2 elite Amazon cavalry, so possibly he's thinking about them. But yeah, it does seem, especially if you're already constrained for resources, it does seem a little bit foolish.
And he just has no, Klass here has just no respect for this hero. He has not spent a single turn like attempting to. He's not trying to conserve his training at all. He's throwing it anywhere. Like every one of these. Every time you take a warrior and upgrade it into a spear, you pay the full training price of the spear, which means you're essentially doubling the cost in training of that unit. That's pretty rough when you're trying to bank training right now for your launch offensives, right?
Well, I mean, I guess the question is Klass even tracking on launch offensive? I mean, he said earlier he doesn't normally play judges and he forgot about the upgrade ability. Maybe he doesn't normally play heroes and he's forgotten about the launch offensive ability as well.
Yeah, if that is the case, as much as I want this to be a good game, I hope he gets punished, because this is, again, the end of the tournament. I want to see the players who know their stuff the best making the games. I want to see the full range of mechanics and things they could be doing in a situation come into play here. And instead, I keep seeing mistakes like this, and I don't know. That bothers me. I want to see the best player win.
Yeah. Well, next time you can join the tournament yourself and show us all how it's done.
It's much more comfortable sitting here in my armchair.
I'm sure it is.
Just judging people. Point taken.
Yes, no, it's definitely easier to see what's going on when you have full vision and aren't under time pressure and don't have a Carthaginian army staring you in the face.
But also the job of the commentator, right, to point this out.
Aye. So, what have we got? We're still dealing with raiders. Interestingly, the settler in Carthage has come all the way down to the Scythians in the south. He's recruited the last Scythian unit, so it does look like Aran is planning on settling the Scythian city here.
It could be just the site to get to grab that unit with the.
Oh,
I think you're right.
Yeah, I suppose that. No, I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point. There's a unit that wasn't doing anything else. It might just be. Get a bit of vision.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I do like the Vandal play. If he's tracking on that, he may not think he has the resources to clear that Vandal site easily, and he is currently truce with them. But I do like that play of another access point that is going to be tough for Rome to respond to. Going north to south on this map is tricky. There's a lot of rough terrain in the way. Now maybe the water network makes it less tricky for Klass, but attacking undefended areas is quite a bit easier than attacking defended areas. So.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure I love hiring the Scythian here, especially, I mean, it makes sense if he wants to clear this camp, but if he's just hiring the Scythian just to get another horse unit, when you're facing down, again, he's facing down an army of spears. I mean, you might call it a mistake for Klass to be making spears, but he has made a lot of spears. Aran can see that, so why is he getting more cavalry that are just going to get absolutely destroyed by champion spears as well, no less. So I don't think those that's a very valuable hire.
Yeah, again, the ways that Rome can stay in this game are largely if Aran takes bad fights or overextends here. Now, Aran has clearly said internally that he thinks he can at least, if not take the city, threaten to take the city in a way that's going to be positively trading for him. And he might be right, but there's also a position where he doesn't actually have to go that much deeper here. He could settle his city that his settlers buy now, pump out another settler, take that Vandal city, and suddenly he's sitting on 2 cities up, having traded efficient resources all game long with the science lead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Aran does hang back. If you look at the military score graph, Pratt has shot up recently. He is obviously investing a lot in building units. He's still weaker than Aran, but not much weaker. And I suspect Aran is going to think, well, I can press my opponent, I can force him to build more units, but if he does take a strong defensive position here, then perhaps he'll be happy to do that. And another general on a spear, spent another 100 training.
God, I hate that. I will say, though, that is the number one thing I have been wrong on in predictions in this game is how aggressive Aran wants to play this. Every time I have said, the outcomes are kind of what I'm expecting from this. The city's down, their units, the one that's decided, etc. But every time I think, okay, he's going to play this a little bit safer and conserve troops, he's gone forward again. So I wonder here if this is, again, his judgment is just that much better than my own on what a situation is that you can attack versus one you can't. And he may not be very, there's something else too, which is that I, as the observer with full information, feel like Klass's tactical plays have been kind of questionable. He's throwing units away. Aran may also be seeing that. There's something to be said about putting your opponent in a position where your opponent doesn't play well and making them play there again and again. If Aran has tagged Klass as not that great at fighting, he may wish to push this even if he wouldn't versus another player because he thinks he can bleed the player's resources.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and that would absolutely make sense for Aran to be tracking on that. This is fascinating. There's some Roman spears coming down to the Vandal site. It looks like Rome wants to contest this Vandal camp.
Yeah, and expensive movements too. Those are full fatigue units, right? That's 10 orders spent there, or 8 orders spent there, rather?
Carthage does have, not perfect vision, but they do have some vision. They can see a spear heading down here, so it looks like if Carthage is paying attention, they will know what is happening. Though maybe Carthage wants to take the fight down here.
I'll be very interested to see. I think this turn is going to be very interesting from Aran because I think this is going to give us a little bit of an insight into what he's thinking here. So are we going to see him start attacking that Scythian camp? Is he planning to settle there? Are we going to see him commit to that northern city, or is this more posturing? Like what? I think this is going to give us some sense of where he's thinking the game is going to go from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have liked to have seen sorry, didn't mean to, one more thought just before that. We've been tracking on this low culture from the rider seat, and this game has been pretty tight, so I get that it hasn't happened yet, but I'd really like to see Aran drop a shrine on the tile that will take both the honey and the wine and get them in the champion borders, or the riders' borders, rather. That would be another 4 culture per turn for that city, which is actually going to get it to developing at some point, and he can maybe get some elephants into this game, which I think he's going to want, if only to have a single routing unit.
Absolutely wouldn't hurt. We see the Carthage scout moving down towards the Vandal camp, so he's definitely tracking on the spear movements down there. Finished off the raider here.
It's a long ass buy room. I don't think that is going to. Yeah, his governor, since starting that, the governor has gone to either, I can't tell if that's ill or slothful from here, or whatever it is, whatever week or whatever the hell it is. But
yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's going to be a while.
That's the see the statesmen are at minus 110 opinion, so they've got a 10% chance of rebels. That's definitely not good. And in fact, his opinions aren't great generally. The riders are upset as well. The traders are merely cautious. So I think that's another.
This is a region, right? So when does it flip back?
When the rightful heir takes charge. They're currently 14, so it will be when they are 18. He will have the chance for her to take the throne, or maybe he will prefer to keep the regent on.
Yeah.
We haven't seen an archetype on the daughter yet, of course, but I imagine it will depend what the daughter turns out to be. She's a tactics student. So it's going to be a useful archetype, I would imagine, for this situation.
Yeah. I have a hard time investing when I have a regent in power. I have a hard time investing in wanting to build relations since they're going to change so soon after.
Yeah,
so he may be just like tanking the ratings hits for now until his heir gets on the throne.
Definitely a fair point, yeah. So we have seen an axe move down and have a tactician assigned, so he is definitely not just going to let Klass take that Vandal side. Going to make him pay for it if he wants it.
Yeah, and I think we're getting the answer to this decision, to that question I was posing a minute ago. I think the decision here has been that city with the Hystastas is maybe too expensive to take right now, especially with the reinforcements massing in Villa to the east there. But my opponent has just given me an opportunity to clean up units for free, essentially over here, killing some spears. I would rather take the easier, getting further ahead move than the riskier slamming into a position I'm not as sure about. So I think that's going to be the answer we see here.
Unfortunately, Carthage, that axeman in the front is just visible to Rome, so Rome can see that they're getting threatened here. Although I suppose if it forces Rome to back off, then again he's just forced him to waste a huge amount of orders moving forwards and then having to move backwards again.
Yep.
So potentially quite nice. It's a bit of a shame this axe is only 4.5 strength. You've got an upset general and an upset family.
Yeah. But at least they're spears, so worse than warriors here.
Yeah. No, he's pretty safe. There's not a lot of chance that Rome can deal with that axe in any efficient way. Though, of course, if he gets a status down, he could even march in this turn. But if he doesn't march, then he's only 2 turns away. Then the status can clean up very nicely.
We can see some weird things happen with Carthage at this stage of the game. Rome has got their own 6 strength unit out, so they're now at, it's not really parity, but they now have at least access to the same strength unit that Carthage has had since turn 10 when we saw that first upgraded elite club thrower. And the thing about tribal units is they tend to collapse rather suddenly because especially if you're connecting with champion units with steadfast, and the fact that while other units accumulate promotions across time, tribal units do not. They just get the 1 from getting to level 6. So we may see a fight potentially where these units get mopped up and they just disappear. And in other words, Carthage may be looking stronger than they are right now for this stage of the game.
Okay, well this is quite a nice play from Klass here. He has moved his spears in, taking 10 damage off this Vandal camp and force marched his settler. Klass can settle this next turn. I don't think there's actually anything Carthage can do about that. This camp is going to Rome.
It's the same play he did in the middle where he lost the last city. So it is. do we see a bireme out of? No, we don't. So no biremes
Not
out
yet.
of Rome at all. So to reinforce the city, he's got to walk. He's got to walk across all these hills and rough terrain there. Now, he might be able to get a
No,
checkpoint in here where he settled.
look at the settler. Look at the settler. Look at the borders. It's just going to
It's
link
gonna grow.
straight up.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
And then
gonna be
he
great
might also
pickup.
get a one tile. Like this city might be in a position. Is it on a hill? I'll be curious where he settles this. I don't know where the most defensive position of this is. Probably back, right? Like through the one tile choke on the hill behind it. So basically nothing.
Yes.
Not a lot can attack.
Oh
it
god,
in
yeah,
range
that
units.
would be really hard to deal with.
Yeah, well, it will be until this bireme that Klass doesn't know about finishes, and then suddenly he's got access to every tile behind that city and can literally flood the back of it. We'll see. It will be interesting. It is an interesting play from Klass, which I like. It is thinking about, well, okay, how do I get in this game? How do I stabilize this game that's gone poorly for me for the last 20 turns or so? What can I do? And one of those thoughts is I can sneak and expand and steal that last open site. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so they're both on 7 cities at the moment. If Klass takes the centre city, and then if and when Aran eventually settles the Scythian city, they'll both be on 8 cities. So yeah, it's, even though Rome has lost a city, they're still coming out all right. Frankly, they haven't. They did lose a lot of momentum. They lost a lot of units, but I wouldn't say they're out of the game by any stretch of the mean.
No. And if we look at this, okay, so
Okay, yes, Salvo points out crabs are providing a correction to Roman lands, but the resource isn't mirrored on Aran's side. Yeah, that's one of the things that can happen. In fact, the iron isn't mirrored here either, and all the marble or the lavender. But yeah, down the centre line, a few tiles away from the centre line, resources aren't necessarily always exactly mirrored. So, yeah, that is a bit of an advantage. This city is actually better for Rome than it would have been for Carthage. Because if Carthage settled here, they would actually be able to connect their borders just if they settled on the back southern tile. So it's something. But yeah, nice pickup.
But if you get established in there, and we're not that far, neither of them are that far from machinery, right? They're both moving pretty intentionally towards sovereignty, and machinery just one tech past that. If you get some managers on that island city, it's going to be very difficult to take, especially if you spend a little bit of effort chopping those forests to begin with. So I wonder, maybe that will stalemate. Maybe Rome will actually be able to hold that city.
Yeah, I can't see Carthage taking the city once it gets settled. Not without some better tech, certainly. It's going to be really, really hard to deal with. Carthage has. Sorry to cut you off. Carthage has left their scout exposed. I wonder if they've realised the scout in Augusta is visible and is definitely going to die. Oh no, he's moving in. Okay.
Wow. Okay. So he's another one of these plays where he wants to block the tile, so he leaves the scout, and that's very interesting. Okay, let's go look at there. Again, every time I think Aran is going to go, I can't aggress here. He aggresses anyways. So I will be. You know what I mean? Like that's what I said. That's the number one prediction I've been wrong about with watching Aran's play every time. So he definitely he evaluates combat differently than I do, and it's really interesting to see because again, this is the player who's undefeated in the tournament. Both these players are. Yeah,
indeed. Well, yes, well, we can argue against Klass's play, but I think it's definitely worth remembering that neither of these players have lost a game as yet. And I think someone pointed out in chat earlier, Klass had not played multiplayer at all before this tournament, so this is. All new for him. And I think Aran is a relatively new player as well, certainly to the multiplayer scene. So, both of these players.
That's the comment I was going to make when we were cross-talking each other, is that regardless of how this game has gone thus far, and I haven't been super impressed with some of Klass's combat decisions, I am impressed with his willingness to keep trying to figure out solutions to the problem of, I'm behind now, I lost this city in the center. What else can I do? I really like seeing him take a proactive action. Even when he's outnumbered and doesn't have units to be spared, he finds some units to go push the bottom city and expand. And it's a good spot. His opponent can't stop that in time. That's super cool.
Yeah, no, it's a nice play, definitely, on that settling the city site. Aran, I wonder if Aran has decided to push in because he's seen that, realised he can't do anything about it, and thought, right, well, I need to do something to distract him. Obviously, it's not going to stop the settle, but it will potentially slightly limit Klass's ability to respond if he has to clear the site and fight a battle at the same time. All right, we're going for one more turn.
Maybe it's a reaction to the fact that those are 2 spears of Klass's fairly weak overall army that are now committed to something that's not defending the northern city. And then Aaron's opened with his movement in, killing a unit. And I mean, defense in this game is very much distance, right? So when you're close on somebody and you get, because the alphas are so devastating, units die in this game, they die when you fight. So opening with killing a unit is very strong if the distance isn't that far like this. And that's what happened. So now that city is unlikely to fall potentially, but much harder to defend with 1/3 of the units dead before the defender gets to act.
Yeah. Interestingly, the settler can't actually settle on the southernmost tile because of the vandal there providing rock. So it'll be interesting to see if Klass waits a turn before settling in order to get that back tile, or if he just goes for a forward tile.
Yeah, the fact that Aran didn't move in, I mean, because both of us missed that the Vandal the Vandal will Zocklock the settler from getting to the tile he wants to do it on. But I was going to say he did choose to settle, but he might have chosen to wait because he's not actually under threat to lose it.
Yeah, and he settled 8 champions there, so again, probably thinking about the defense frontline city. So yeah, I'm not sure he necessarily needed champions given how hard the city is going to be to attack, but doesn't hurt certainly, excuse me.
Yeah. Also, just raw happiness for the champions, right? Always good when you're fighting at this stage where most of your units are probably champion.
Yeah, the opinion is definitely looking on the up. That is a spear down for Carthage. Roma's taking a kill there.
Oh, but look at this. We finally get the Ranger Highlander Tough. And Tough, didn't we notice that it might be bugged right now? It might be giving double value?
Yes, anyways. Tough is giving double value on defense at the moment.
Yeah, so this double valued Tough Highlander Ranger Spear, not in a hill quite yet, but getting at least 2 of those bonuses, pulling in there with the Tough and the other one, Tough and the Ranger. So going to be a nasty Hystasis.
Oh, the Hystasis, yeah. Yeah, yes, the Axes can do 3 and will take 10 damage counter. I don't think there's any way he can contest that. Aran has surely got to pull back, in which case they've just traded a spear for a spear there. And Carthage has burnt loads of orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure about that one.
Yeah, also it's got to be spooky. I mean, that hero standing right there, and that's a very powerful attacking unit. Not the spear hero so much, but the unit adjacent to it. So I don't think Aran's seen the combo yet, but he may have. That scout was hanging out around there for a while.
Yeah, let's have a look at Carthage's current vision. Yeah, they don't have current vision on the archer at the moment. Yes, has he got 1 archer still at the moment?
Yeah, the combo is from an event. He doesn't have access to it otherwise.
Right. Alright, so they're saving here. So this is going to be the end of today's session. 47 turns. Fantastic start to this match. Love to see it. 3
Highly
hours
entertaining
in.
too. Very fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think very much anyone's game still. It's
I think advantage Carthage, but I think, as you say, it is possible for Rome to, with a combination of playing well and his opponent not being able to capitalize, he may be able to stabilize here.
Yeah, and if Rome could get up to 7 laws and strong culture, which they're working their way towards, still a little way off, but if they can get their 7-8 strength unique unit up, then that will be a very decisive advantage. Status, I think, is already going to be enough to make it very difficult for Carthage to aggress anymore. So I suspect part 2 we're going to see more of a standoff and economic build-up, and we'll see who can come out on top of that one. But fascinating game so far. And
and although Rome's economy is still kind of crap, he has stabilized his iron income up to 100 right now, so he's done a good job of focusing those mines to get his unique unit going.
Yeah, that's definitely helping, as you say, just spamming mines everywhere, even the flatland mines. He's got 3 flatland mines down here, which to me feels a little bit excessive, but I guess it's doing the job. Yeah, he does need the iron for the status and the spears, and pretty much, he can build slingers now, but he needs a lot of iron, so definitely working out alright. Okie dokie, well, the next game is scheduled for tomorrow. With part 2 of this game scheduled for tomorrow, so please do tune in. Are you co-commenting that one as well, Filthy?
No, I think someone else signed up for it before I got a chance, but I am co-commenting your game, which starts in an hour and 50 minutes here.
Very exciting.
Good luck in that. If I haven't said so already, I am very excited about that game. I love watching your games, and it's good luck, I must say, and I wish your opponent good luck as well. But think of all the catty commentary you'll be getting behind your back while you're playing that one.
Yes, a pleasure. Something to look forward to with reviewing the stream after the match is over and seeing what people have said. Always fun. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much. And yeah, I will be playing in, as you say, just under 2 hours, I believe. Who's commenting that one? Let's just pull up the schedule and have a quick look. Give you the actual information about what's happening and when. Commented schedule.
Yeah. Alcaraz Splage is probably still happening. It started a little after this game, and I think it's scheduled to go about as many hours. That's probably still active now. We should raid that channel on the way out, by the way.
Oh, yes, good point. Nizar should be streaming that one, so let's have a look. I've never actually done a raid before. That sounds fun. Let's do that.
It's pretty simple. It's /raid with the name of the channel, with space in the name of the channel.
Okay.
So if it's on Twitch, if you're streaming YouTube, you won't be able to raid from Twitch.
Let's have a go at that then. Which is the Nizar. I forget the name of his channel.
It's Nizar Gaming with underscores between Nizar and Gaming. Let me just have a quick look to make sure that's correct. I can link it in.
Yeah, it's alright. I'll copy out the switch. I've got it here. It's fine. All right, let's see if we can get this raid working for our 6 viewers on Twitch. Let's see. Invalid username. That does not work.
I put it in the chat.
Okay. So I put the full Twitch URL rather than just the username. Doesn't help, does it?
Nope. Anyways, pleasure podcasting with you, Fluffy, and good luck in your games. And I'm gonna jump off here. Have a good one.
All right, cheers, Philby. Thanks for commenting. All right, we are raiding Nizar. I hope you enjoy the match, which is Alcaraz v Bladge, and yeah, have a good time. Just to let you know, we are going to. So my match with Sabertooth is just under 2 hours. That's going up to be on Bladge's channel, which is Amberino on Twitch, and part 2 of this game is scheduled for tomorrow at 11 AM GMT. So until then, thanks for watching everyone, and goodbye for now.